Hello, 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 everyone. At long last, it's finally time. Thank you so much for your patience on this particular stream. I originally had planned this a week ago. And it had all kinds of scheduling things that happened. And then on top of that, when I tried to pull up the game to actually play it last week, it kept crashing, which was very strange. So I did some digging into my PC settings, and I found a dastardly setting that I could not believe was on. For anyone who is a Windows PC user, maybe double check that a setting called game mode is not on. Apparently, these crazy bastards turn it on, and it tries to optimize your games for you, which now so many things suddenly make sense. So we're actually going to see if I have any weird issues with, like, my OBS crashing anymore or, like, other weird stuff. Because, like, yeah, apparently Windows was trying to automatically optimize my games when I was playing them. And it didn't like that. Like, trying to play this and pull up OBS at the same time was bad. So I turned that setting off. And, wow, everything has been running smoother. Like, I guess I'm glad that I have a beefy PC that's been I've been able to overcome that for the last, God, I don't know, like 2 years that I've been using this computer, but that was sure a realization. So anyway, thank you all for your patience. We shouldn't have any problems today. Fingers crossed. I think the only potential issue we could have is that it's been raining like crazy outside. There's a really big thunderstorm, so hopefully a lot of the thunder already happened, so hopefully we shouldn't have more, but God damn it, Isaac, you're right. Windows is helping like a toddler in the kitchen. I know, I don't need it to stab my games. Please stop this, Windows. So anyway, if you are someone who if you've ever tried to stream or if you've ever had weird issues with your games randomly crashing, maybe go double check that setting isn't on, because mine was automatically on. I turned it off, did a bunch of testing, and everything suddenly started working. So anyway, I've been very excited to play this with you all because this is a very adorable, largely wholesome game. I'm sure there's still going to be some hijinks and stuff. But it's from a developer named Ebihime, and Ebihime is very well known in the queer fandom for making a lot of games like this, and a bunch of games that are also crazy is the best way to put it. So I guess for folks who are really into, like, I don't know, toxic yuri and yaoi, Ebihime has a bunch of that shit. But Ebihime has also written some very adorable works as well. And that is what we are going to be playing today. As far as like other toxic yuri and stuff as far as that's concerned, I do have some stuff that we will check out. I don't know that we'll be able to do it before the end of the month, but I do have some stuff planned, so... In the meantime, we are now going to embark upon the tale of the Demon Queen's dire dilemma. So without further ado, let's go. I have no idea how far we're going to make it in the game today. We might finish the whole thing. We might have to do a part 2 next week or something. But yeah, we're going to get through it together regardless. So let us begin. Away we go. The Kingdom of Mielle. 1800 something. An undetermined date within the 1800s. In this once happy, prosperous kingdom, dissent is beginning to swirl. For several days, a vicious war has raged in Mielle's capital, Oxel, within its ancient castle. Ramparts have been laid to waste in the fray, good men and women bested as they tried to defend their kingdom. And now, after many days of fighting, the dust has begun to clear to reveal... She's so smug!
All right, you puny mortals, the time has finally come! Your warriors fought bravely, but I'm afraid it wasn't quite enough. Humans such as yourselves can never hope to match up to an army like mine, no matter how well trained or disciplined. You never had a chance, really. Your pitiful fates were sealed the moment I set my eyes upon this country. But don't feel bad. We demons contain more strength in our little fingers than even the most skilled human warriors do in their entire bodies. That's a great question, Sorkshade. What is her tax policy? This is a very important question, now that you've taken over. There was no way you could have triumphed against me. The fact that you tried to put up a resistance is impressive, a token though it was. I am so impressed by your tenacity. In fact, I almost feel moved to tears. So I will show you a modicum of leniency, being the great benevolent ruler that I am. It would be impossible for you to defeat me and my demonic army now. Half of your guards have fled, and the other half have been incapacitated. So I shall spare your pitiful lives. None of you will be put to death, though I could most assuredly have you all slaughtered like pigs. Oh God, don't do that. Mom, the small smug demon is mocking me. Look at that smile, she is so smug. You, old man, who has been trembling like a sick dog ever since I entered your chamber. I take it that you are the king who rules over this country?
Oh, why, yes, I am King Limon, but...
No, you aren't. Not any longer.
I beg your pardon. I am old, as you said, and my ears are no longer what they once were. What do you mean by this, Miss, Asmodeus?
That's Miss Demon Queen Asmodeus to you, buddy. And yes, you heard me correctly. You might have been Mielle's king once, but no longer. I might be gracious enough to spare you, but I will not let you remain on Mielle's throne. Why would I, when I conquered you, fair and square? You do not think that I am stupid, do you, old man?
Oh no, I perish the thought. It is most gracious of you, Miss, Demon Queen? That you mean to spare my life, even if I am to forfeit the throne, but where will I go? How shall I continue to live?
I'll be damned if I know. That's not my job to figure out. Oh, God. It's already off to a rough start. Isaac, it took her a week to invade, not because the kingdom put up a good fight, but because it took her a week to braid her hair like that. God, it is glorious, isn't it? Now, quit your whining. It's unseemly for a king. Or ex-king, I should say. Now, come on, get your sorry ass off that fancy gold chair and take off your crown, too. I'll be taking both of those, unless you want me to break your fingers.
Oh, no, of course not. You may take my throne and my crown, too, if you so desire them. You did best all my guards, as you said, fair and square.
I love, they're acting like this is just a competition. Yeah, no, you beat me fair and square. Them's the rules.
Or as fairly as a demon such as yourself can do war, I suppose. It would be boorish of me if I were to reject your claim to the crown when you have proven your forces to be so much mightier than my own. But, Miss Demon Queen, I implore you, where should I go if I cannot stay in the castle? I was born to serve this country. Without it, I am nothing. If I am not the king, then...
You're nothing but a peasant, yes. And as a peasant, I've nothing to discuss with you. Nothing further, anyway. You can go wherever you want. You could do whatever you want to do. You can even try to scrape together an army of your own, if you want, to challenge me for the throne. Not that it'll do you much good. Humans can never hope to defeat demons, and any attempts to do so will only stoke my ire. You are welcome to try and fight, but you will lose. And when you do, I will not be so merciful next time. You don't want me to show you how scary I can be, do you? When I am truly angry.
Oh, no. Perish the thought. I would never want to anger you, Miss Demon Queen.
Then scram. Get your sorry behind out of my castle and, I don't know, go start a farm, maybe? Buy some cows and chickens, sell their milk and eggs, and learn how it feels to do some real work, which will actually benefit the people of Mielle, who you were supposed to serve.
Wait, hold on, let her cook. I know, it does kind of feel like she's inheriting a kingdom that this dude has messed up, and I don't know, what sort of plans does she have?
You might be in your 60s, but it isn't too late for you. So long as you're alive, you'll be able to pick up enough new tricks to get by. I'm sure you'll be fine. And even if you're not, it won't be my problem. I'm going to wash my hands of you now. Thank you for keeping the throne warm for me all this time, King Limon, before I swung by to claim it. It was very kind of you.
Oh, yes. It is no problem, I assure you. If I had to hand Mielle over to anybody, I am honored that it would be you. I am sure that you will do a wonderful job at protecting the country. Thank you very much, Miss Demon Queen, for your kindness. I will never forget that you chose to spare my life. But before I leave, excuse me, I must ask this of you. What fate will befall my daughter?
Oh, yes, you do have a daughter, don't you? It's not like I care about human girls all that much, though, even if Lizette does have a nice face.
I beg your pardon? Are you acquainted with my daughter already, Miss Demon Queen?
Oh, what? Oh, no. It's not like I have any special interest in her.
Believable.
I just heard some rumors about her, that's all. Doesn't everybody say she's beautiful?
They do indeed, and they would be right. My Lizette is considered one of the most charming maidens in Mielle. She is my pride and joy, even more so than my country. Losing the throne is painful, but I can endure it. Losing my daughter, however, is a blow I would never recover from. Will you not let her flee the palace alongside me, so I might continue to care for her?
Uh-huh. Are you asking me for a favor now, old man? After everything I've done for you? Don't you think you're being a bit brazen? I don't owe you anything.
Oh, I know that. I am only too aware, Miss Demon Queen. I understand that I am in no position to make demands of you as a lowly human who has lost his kingdom, but please, can you find it in your heart, which is wider than the ocean, to spare my daughter? Do not harm her. I beg of you. I couldn't bear it.
Well, now, I have no real need to keep the princess around. She would only be another mouth to feed and a drain on the palace's resources.
Yes, that is right. I would do a far better job caring for her myself. I could even endure a life of poverty if I am with my daughter.
But you're forgetting something, old man. I might be showing you sympathy, but I am still a demon. My kind has been at war with you humans for centuries, generations, some would say. We are incompatible by our very natures. I do not like you, and I know that you do not like me. And I did not come here to cater to all of your wishes and whims. I will let you run from the palace alongside your advisors, who were also very foolish, and all of your servants who have not yet fled already. But my magnanimity does not stretch that far.
Oh, what? Then what will happen to my dear Lisette?
And nothing will happen to your daughter, and nothing untoward, at least. It would be a shame to injure such a fair maiden. But as the victor of our clash, I deserve some sort of a prize. Do you not agree?
Oh, God, no! Asmodeus, why would you say it like that?
But you already have your prize, Miss Demon Queen. Is my throne not enough of a reward? Why do you need to take my daughter, too?
Sorry, but that's just how it is. Let's call it finders keepers. This is my castle now, and so are the people who live here.
Oh my God.
Your lives are mine to do with as I please. And I've decided to take the princess on as my own servant. I'll have her wait on me hand and foot, as suits my status as Mielle's new queen.
Oh my God, the princess is becoming her maid. Oh God.
I'll trample on her dignity. I'll bend her to my will, and I'll make her call me mistress.
Oh, them some big words there.
Then, and only then, will I have conquered this miserable country in a manner befitting of a true demon queen.
You know, you don't have to do all of that, girl.
What? I thought you were reasonable, but now I'm beginning to think otherwise. You really are a demon.
You only just figured it out, huh? It took you long enough. I figured the horns and tail would have given it away, but I'll give you a recap if you need it. I know old farts like you often suffer from dementia.
The low blow.
I wouldn't be surprised if you've forgotten everything we discussed, because you're so freaking ancient. So let me lay it out for you. I am the great Demon Queen Asmodeus. I have lived for almost a century, and my magical powers know no limits. I am far, far more powerful than a mere human like yourself could ever conceive of. And now that I have seized Mielle's throne from you, I will seize your daughter. I will make her mine. You can cry about it as much as you want, and you can even prostrate yourself at my feet and bang your head against the carpet and beg for mercy. But I won't be moved by so much as a single tear.
Oh, God. She really is a baddie.
Oh, no!
Illyria, the princess, became the Demon Queen's maid. A light novel title if ever I heard one. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, my God.
Great, powerful demons like myself don't parley with humans. Especially not farm hands who don't have 2 pennies to rub together. And so, the once peaceful kingdom of Mielle underwent a rapid change. Mielle's rightful king, the wise old Limon, was deposed. And in his place, a wicked demon assumed the throne, a demon with eyes redder than rubies and sharp, piercing horns. This powerful demon, whose abilities surpassed even those of the most famous monsters, was called Asmodeus. And this is her story. It is a story of unparalleled cruelty, deceit, wickedness, and, oh God, what type of a game are we playing? Lady Asmodeus, please excuse me, my lady, but don't you think it's high time you woke up?
Oh my God, it's the princess.
It is? That's right, it is, and it's wonderfully sunny outside too. I've already drawn back the curtains, and your room is full of light.
Wait, this is going pretty well so far. Hold on.
Can you not hear the birds outside chirping in the trees? They're telling you to wake up too. You have a long day of cruelty, deceit, and wickedness ahead of you, and I would hate for you to waste it lying in bed. I'm tired though. Just give me a few more minutes, Lizette. Leave me alone. My apologies, but I cannot do that. I care about you too much, Lady Asmodeus.
Ooh, hold on a second. Me thinks that Lady Asmodeus was putting on a fearsome front, trying to be a demon queen. But her and the princess get along pretty well.
As your maid, it is my duty to ensure that you get out of bed at a sensible time. It would not do to keep the representatives from luck waiting. Now, would it? I don't care about them, though. Those old guys are so boring. I want to sleep. Oh, you can sleep when you're dead. And now, please get your act together, Lady Asmodeus, and stop drooling. I'll have to change your sheets again.
And it's a story about a young maid called Lisette, who might be enjoying her job a little too much. They really tried to... They tried to make us think that this was going to be a very different game. I wasn't sure that we were fully on board with an evil demon queen. Oh, I'm sorry. She is definitely super for sure evil. Oh, God. I wonder if Lizette just didn't want her old man to know about this arrangement. And so our story begins. Wicked and ruthless. Everybody fears Lady Asmodeus. At least they should. So why doesn't anybody cower from her? Oh, God. Oh, boy. And this is Lizette, a former princess. Not even Mielle's deposed princess, Lisette, takes her seriously. And Asmodeus's useless advisors are no help at all. Oh my God. Oh my God, more Yuri. Oh my God, I'm so on board with this. Let's go. And so she awakens. Oh, what's a demon queen to do? Oh my God. We'll find out in the Demon Queen's dire dilemma. Oh, showing us some of the spicy shit to come. Chapter 1, a demonic disaster. Oh, thank badness that's over. Instead of thank goodness, thank badness. Oh, you know, that's true. I don't think this game will be about tax policies at all.
That meeting with the delegates from Locke felt like it took a small eternity. Those old geezers simply wouldn't shut up. And it's not like they had anything particularly important to talk about. All they wanted to yap about was opening up a trade route in Legrand. It's so boring. Ugh, I'm surprised I was able to keep myself awake during the last 2. No, 3 hours. That whole affair took 3 freaking hours! Ugh, it's no wonder I feel exhausted. I can't believe I had to wake up for those guys. It wouldn't have killed them to wait half an hour, would it?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. How long have they known each other? How long have her and the princess known each other? Happy Pride to all of you as well. This has been an awesome Pride month. I'm so happy I've been able to play so many wonderful queer games with y'all. Anyway, sorry, please go on, Asmodeus.
Why's Lizette always got to be such a stickler for timekeeping? She's my maid, damn it! If I tell her I want to sleep in a little longer, she should let me. It's her job to obey me.
Yeah, sure.
Though I guess I did tell her to be ruthless about waking me up. If I was left to my own devices, I'd be late for everything. Still, who wants to wake up at 7 o'clock? That's far too early. Based as hell. I didn't think I'd have so many people to answer to when I became a queen. It's all such a pain. It's so much of a pain, in fact. I've started talking to myself when I feel especially stressed out.
Just the casual fourth wall break. No, she's definitely not talking to us, the audience. She's talking to herself.
I didn't get much sleep last night, and my head is starting to ache. If only Lizette had let me lie in bed a bit longer. This is all her fault. She's such a useless maid. That's what I'd like to say, at least. But for a former princess, Lizette is maddeningly competent at her new job. She's so efficient, she makes me feel like a slob by comparison. It doesn't help that, though she's a human, she doesn't seem to be afraid of me. At all. I thought she'd be a little bit intimidated on account of the whole Demon Queen thing, but my status doesn't seem to perturb her in the slightest. She's so unfailingly cheerful whenever she sees me. It grinds my gears. Thinking of which... Hello, Lady Asmodeus. A figure steps foot inside the throne room, a silver tray in hand. The woman is a slender, fair-faced thing, rather pretty by human standards, in a frilly maid's dress. It's obvious, just to look at her, that she's a servant, but she's significantly more chipper than servants tend to be. Where in the world does she get all her energy from? I can't even begin to guess. I've come to give you your lunch. I hope you enjoy this lovely quiche I've made you. I know I certainly had a lot of fun baking it. I used to bake a little in the palace before you took over and assumed your glorious rule, but I never had much of an opportunity to poke around in the palace's kitchens. Rosalba always said that it was uncouth for a princess to get her hands dirty. As though the nobility aren't getting their hands dirty with all sorts of unpleasant activities every other day. I think making a quiche or two is quite inoffensive compared to some of the things my father and grandfather and my great-grandfather did when they were on the throne.
It does seem like Asmodeus is making improvements.
But it's no matter. I hope that you enjoy your food. I made sure to infuse it with a lot of love, so it should be extra yummy. Lizette giggles, then drops me a curtsy. if there's nothing else you want from me, I'll take my leave. I have some dirty utensils to clean, and they won't take care of themselves. I don't know any magic, unlike your exalted self, so I have to do everything with my hands. It's a bit of a pain keeping everything neat and tidy, but I won't have the palace falling into disrepair, and not now that all my servants have been dismissed.
Oh God, wait, is she doing everything by herself?
And enjoying it? Rosalba would be so upset if I let things get dirty. But Rosalba got upset at most things, so that wouldn't be anything new.
So, yeah, I might have planned to subjugate Lizette after I took over the throne, but she's not been acting particularly subjugated. I have to wonder what she even means by that, where she's like, you will do my bidding, I guess, and tell me that I'm a fearsome demon queen. I guess Lizette is telling her that, but with a very chipper smile. I wonder if Asmodeus just was looking for someone to boost her ego. In fact, she seems to be having the time of her life. Lizette's smile never wavers, not when she's rolling out dough, cleaning dirty dishes, or sweeping the floor. I thought I'd be able to grind the princess beneath my heel in a matter of days, but she's made of stern stuff. She's so unflinchingly cheerful, it's putting me right off my food, which is a pity because Lizette's food is pretty good. For a princess turned maid, she's surprisingly capable at everything she puts her mind to. She's not bad at housework, and she's even better at cooking. But I'm not supposed to be praising her, damn it! I never took Lizette on as my maid because I wanted her to do actual work. I just wanted to make a mockery of her and to reduce her to tears. You sure about that? Really now. I've been trying to put up with her happy-go-lucky nature during the last few months, but it's getting on my nerves. I can't keep pretending like there's nothing wrong with this. It's past time that she and I had a little talk. Oh, God. Hey, Lizette, hold up a second.
Oh, is something the matter, Lady Asmodeus?
You could say that, yes. In fact, I think that would be putting things lightly. There's a whole lot wrong, so much so, I'm not sure where to begin. Well, I guess I should begin with the obvious. Why are you so all right with all of this?
I beg your pardon, Lady Asmodeus, but I don't quite understand the question. What do you mean by all of this?
Shouldn't that be obvious already? I'm talking about, well, everything. Why are you so all right with dressing as a maid and serving me and, in the name of all that is bad and unholy, baking quiches and flans and tarte tatin for me? It wasn't that long ago you were a princess. You were royalty. You had scores of servants waiting upon you, hand and foot, practically around the clock. Aren't you embarrassed about your fall from grace? I know if I was in your shoes, I'd never be able to smile at my captor so guilelessly. I'd be incensed. I'm belittling and humiliating you. Your response ought to be a lot more pronounced than whatever this is. That rant took up more energy than I'd like to spare on a lowly human, but I think I was able to make my point. The Lizette has been working under me for a while, but I've yet to have a proper talk with her about her conduct. Demanding her to quake in her boots in front of me felt kind of, I don't know, awkward, so I kept quiet about it. I figured that Lizette was just putting on a brave face and she'd crack soon enough under the pressure. But it's been 3 months of this and she hasn't changed at all.
I mean, geez, what gives? Am I not threatening enough? I'm a freaking demon queen. If that's not scary, I don't know what is. Ugh, I'm getting pretty pissed off, and Lizette's response isn't helping. I see. It sounds like you've been dealing with all sorts of difficulties lately, Lady Asmodeus. I'm sorry if I've not been behaving in the correct manner that's expected of a captive, but please try to understand. I've never been a captive before, so I don't know how prisoners are supposed to act.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think the Demon Queen knows either. I think that she's going through the motions. She's like, I'm supposed to be all big and terrifying, but I like your tarts. So I didn't say anything. I don't think she's very good at this.
You're the first demon queen I've ever met. This is all quite new to me. I can try and act a little more frightened, though, if you'd rather... What? I scowl at Lisette. My fingers curled tightly about the armrests of my throne. What do you mean you'll act more frightened? Aren't you frightened already? Not particularly. No. Why? Should I be?
You know, this is actually a perfect example of why Stockholm Syndrome isn't real. I think I've told you all that before, but that's actually an excellent shout out. So just so you all know, Stockholm Syndrome, like as it is like defined, is not a thing. Like the situation that happened was that some people were held captive in Stockholm and ended up assisting their captors, but it was because they were like terrified in the situation and trying to like get out safely. So, you know, and then afterwards they're like, how could they possibly do this? Oh, actually, sorry, I'm forgetting the part where once the cops arrived, they like made a mess of things. Like, they made an absolute mess of things. Like, the people got to know some of their captors and why they were there and what they were trying to do, and then a lot of them were just as scared as, like, the rest of them. And so some of the people for interviews later were like, well, I don't know, like, they were regular people, like, that had had all sorts of hard times hit them. And the media was like, what? They're crazy. How could they say this about the people that held them hostage? And they're like, well, I mean, I'm trying to just explain that they were people. I'm not saying what they did was right, but just like I understand like what happened and I have empathy for them. And they're like, Stockholm Syndrome. In this case, this is a more extreme example where the Demon Queen apparently like did legitimately want to use the princess as like, yes, you will solidify my terrifying rule because nobody else takes me seriously. Which, you know, Asmodeus, we should probably work through some of that. But Lisette was like, oh yeah, no, for sure. I don't want to be a princess. I don't know, they're a very strange match for each other, all things considered. A very different kind of relationship is happening here. Oh, yeah, exactly, Illyria. So Stockholm Syndrome is empathy plus survival instincts. Exactly. That is exactly true. So the more you know, and I think, like, when you hear that, that makes sense. Right? Like, if you put yourself in that situation, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, that is completely understandable. Like, it's not condoning the things the people did. The actual phenomenon, I think it's a very different thing. Like, if you have been in, like, an abusive relationship to some extent, you will rationalize some of the things that someone does as, like, normal, or, like, you can forgive them for whatever reason, but that's a totally different thing. That is a totally different, like, over a much longer time span thing. And that is actually real, but, like, it's, yeah. Stockholm Syndrome is definitely not. So anyway, there you go. There you have it. Oh, welcome one and all. If you're just joining, I'm just walking people through the crazy, crazy relationship between these two, as well as some fun facts as well.
You know what, Sean? That is exactly true.
In this case, however, it's less empathy and more, it's funny how this chick thinks that she's scary. Yes, no, exactly. Lizette is over here like, oh, this is hilarious. And you know, more power to her. Oh, God. Oh, magical. Thank you so much for the kind donation. A lot of interesting stuff happened on June 23rd, but nothing involving anyone named Yuri. Damn. There goes my punchline. Fun fact. Yuri Gagarin was born 91 years and 106 days ago. Oh, my God. That is a fun fact. I appreciate the effort. Trying to find something related to Yuri. I mean, that's the best thing of all. You make things related to Yuri. You have the power in your own life to do this. That's beautiful, aspirational. Oh, God. Well, that was a fantastically timed tangent. All right, please, let's go on.
That's how these things are supposed to work, yes. I mean, I had your father exiled from his own castle, and all of his subjects and servants, too. It's doubtful you'll ever see them again. Doesn't that upset you? Not particularly. I didn't see much of my father when we all lived in the castle, and I never got on very well with my servants.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, for real.
Rosalba was always scolding me, and so was Miss Mercy.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, the king was not her role model. Y'all are right. She was always wanting to be involved with what the maids were doing, and they kept kicking her out. And now she gets to do that. What a crazy stroke of fate.
I think Rosalba cared in her own way, but Miss Mercy was awful. I'm glad to be rid of her, actually, and she's probably glad to be rid of me, too. I drove her batty.
Yeah, it does seem like Rosalba was something of a parental figure. I think you're right, Hibiki.
And besides, it's not like you killed anybody, Lady Asmodeus, so I don't see any reason to be upset. I'm sure my father and all his ministers are living relaxing, comfortable lives out in the countryside, and now that they no longer have so many responsibilities to worry about, they probably appreciate having a bit of a break. Ruling over a whole country like this is no joke. My father always did look rather stressed. Well, it's not like I spared their lives out of kindness or anything, you dummy.
Oh my God, she is full Cinderay. Oh my God, she's blushing.
It's not like I feel faint at the sight of blood or anything.
Of course not. I'd never presume to say otherwise.
It's just, I'm so much more powerful than a bunch of puny humans. There's no need for me to end their pathetic little lives. It would be too easy, just like squashing flies. There's no excitement in slaughtering creatures who can't put up a fight. And I didn't want to get my clothes dirty. Blood is a nightmare to shift. It just wasn't worth the effort.
I'm sure it wasn't. You're a very practical woman, Lady Asmodeus, so it makes sense you wouldn't want to give yourself even more work. I think your attitude is quite remarkable.
Thanks very much. But I'm not so starved for affection that I'll look for it from a human girl such as yourself. You really don't need to compliment me. In fact, I'd far rather you tremble in fear. Why can't you be more afraid of me? And why aren't you more upset? Do you have nerves of steel or something? I think it's actually quite rude that Lizette hasn't shed so much as a single tear since I seized power for myself.
That's quite rude.
Am I not worth her sorrow, or does she truly think I'm incompetent? In all the handbooks I read about subjugating princesses, there are more of them out there than you might think. They never mention that a princess might be supremely unbothered by all of her misfortunes. This is so far beyond my expectations. I have no idea how I'm supposed to act. Why aren't I more upset? Well, let me see. Lizette seems to ponder my question for a few moments. As she places her index finger beneath her lower lip, her expression one of deep thought, and then... It was very boring, you know, being a princess. There wasn't much to do here in the palace, not until you came along, Lady Asmodeus. Being a princess might sound exciting, but it really wasn't. Every day was horribly tedious. My father, the king, made all the important decisions. He was the one ruling the country, after all. So I was just, kind of there. It made me feel a bit like chopped liver. And not that I really get that saying. It's not like I'm actual chopped liver or anything. Do you know where that saying comes from, Lady Asmodeus? No, I cannot say I am familiar with its origins. Oh, that's very sad. You're so smart. I figured you might know it.
So her position was entirely, ornamental. She didn't even do anything as the princess. Oh, God.
I mean, you have been alive for decades. You're a lot older than I am, and a lot wiser. Hey, you weren't calling me an old lady, are you? Well,
you are compared to me.
Oh, that's only because you're a human. Your kind are notoriously short-lived. It isn't uncommon for demons to live until they're 1,000 years old. My own mother is more than 600 years old, and she's still doing very well for herself. 600, huh? That is impressive. She wouldn't happen to be 666 years old, would she? No. Why would you just assume that? Is it because she's a demon? We aren't all obsessed with the number 666. That's a stereotype. And my mother is actually 665 years old. She'll turn 666 during the summer solstice.
But of course, I'm not calling you an old lady.
During the solstice, huh? That's only a couple of months away. I know, right? We were planning a big party for her, me and the rest of my siblings. We thought it might be nice to conduct it outdoors, in the sun, since it ought to be rather pleasant. Yeah, Asmodeus, can we all get invites? That sounds like so much fun. Oh, a garden party, is it? Oh, that sounds really nice. I hope you'll serve chilled lemonade. I always found it a refreshing beverage to sip while sitting in the palace's gardens. Well, naturally. Who do you take me for? Beelzebub and I have the catering sorted out already. We'll have lemonade, since it's a staple, and we were also thinking of getting some devil's food cake. It's my mother's favorite.
Of course.
Oh, of course. I should have known. Well, I hope your mother has a very pleasant 666th birthday. I get the feeling that's a big milestone for you demons. Indeed, it's one of our most important birthdays. After our 18th, of course, when we are legally considered adults. I have quite a long way to go until I celebrate my 666th, though. I'm only 100 years old, which is quite spry and sprightly for a demon.
Quite spry and sprightly, you say?
Oh my god, yeah, we should bring deviled eggs. That's such a good idea, Magical.
I love deviled eggs.
I am not therefore old. I mean, really. Do you see a single gray hair on my head, Lizette?
Now, let me see. Oh!
Lizette hems and she haws, looking hither and thither, until at long last she beams.
You're right. There aren't any gray hairs at all. You must have quite the rigorous hair care regimen, Lady Asmodeus. If it looks this healthy, though you're already 100.
I'm only 100. I told you, I'm not that old.
Not for a demon, maybe. But I shudder to think how I'll look when I'm as old as you. And my skin won't be anywhere near as supple as yours. I'm sure it'll wind up all wrinkly, no matter how many balms and lotions I use. Being a human's kind of sucky.
Oh, Lizette!
I actually think wrinkles are just fine.
It's a sign of all of the wisdom you've accumulated over the years.
Oh, God, yes. Deviled eggs are so addictive. There's so many different ways to do them, too. So many different types of fillings you can go with them. Oh, that makes me want some really bad. Maybe I should do some deviled eggs and cheeseburgers for the 4th of July. That's coming up here pretty soon. Anyway, please go on, Lizette.
You do have quite a rotten lot in life. Quite a rotten lot in life, yes. Which is precisely why you ought to be cowering in fear before me. Aren't you even a little bit afraid?
Of you, Lady Asmodeus?
Yes, of me. Who else would I be talking about?
I don't know. Miss Nimue might be a bit scary, but I don't think you're bad at all, really. In fact, you're quite pleasant to talk to. You're a lot more fun to be with than all those boring princes who used to try and court me. In any case,
I imagine a lot of princes were vying for your attention, yes. Do you not miss any of them?
Not as far as I can throw them, which, since I'm a weak, pitiful human, wouldn't be very far. That was one of the worst parts about being a princess. The etiquette lessons were a huge drag, especially because Miss Mercy was so awful. But going to all of those balls was even worse. Oh, I had to wear the most ridiculous dresses. They were hard to walk in, let alone dance in. Oh, and the corsets.
Lizette pulls a face.
Rosalba would lace me up so tightly I could hardly breathe. I was always terrified that I would asphyxiate when I attended these balls, and then I'd tumble into the canapes. It was a nightmare. I don't think even you could conceive of a torture quite like being forced to wear a too tight corset, Lady Asmodeus. You know, that is so true. So fair and balanced. Oh my God. You know what? Scrambled eggs are also fantastic. I low-key think that eggs are a wonderful food. There's so many different ways you can prepare them, and they're all so damn tasty. You know, we probably would get kicked out of the birthday party if we brought angel food cake. It's such a shame. I feel like they would like that too.
Yes, humans are rather good at making themselves miserable. This is an observation I myself have made on numerous occasions. But why were you bidden to dress so uncomfortably for nights spent dancing? It sounds rather counterintuitive.
Doesn't it just? Rosalba told me it was a good thing if my corset was tied just a bit too tightly because it would make my silhouette look trimmer.
I told her that I was afraid I'd faint in reply, and she said that would be a good thing, provided I fainted into the arms of a handsome prince. Apparently, princes like frail, fragile girls, they can bend to their own whims. It's all highly repugnant.
Yeah, no kidding.
That does sound repugnant, yes. I can't say I would ever want to put the feelings of others before my own comfort, not when it comes to the way I dress. My body is my own, and I wish to adorn it how I see fit.
Exactly. I'm so glad you understand, Lady Asmodeus. I knew you would.
Going to all those balls was awful, and there were so many of them. I had to be this nice, sweet, even-tempered young lady who existed to flatter egos, and woe betide me if I ever dared to speak my mind. If I was ever too honest with any of the princes who tried to woo me, Rosalba would soon hear about it. Then she scolded me. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, she tattled to me on my father, and he would scold me too. They kept telling me I should be more ladylike, but who wants to act like a lady? It's so boring. I had other ambitions beyond being, I don't know, a decoration, like a fancy hat stand. I got so bored of my lessons, and I got bored of all the balls, and I got especially bored of all the self-important, tedious princes who sought me out during these balls, just so they could tell me how incredible they were. It was unspeakably dull, so I'm actually pretty glad that you decided to take over the palace. You changed up my mundane routine, at least. I've not had to go to a single ball since you took charge, and I've not had to schmooze with a single prince.
Hell yeah, taking down the patriarchy one demon queen and princess at a time.
I don't have to wear that tight, uncomfortable corset either, or a big puffy dress. I can dress like this instead. And the clothes you picked out for me are a lot cuter than all of that glitzy bits and pieces in my old wardrobe.
Task failed successfully. Demon Queen goes on to improve the lives of those under her.
Oh God, Sean, I know how to help. We must give the princess a gun. Crime Princess tonight on NBC at 10.
I mean, that is where this is going. Goddamn.
I've been having a blast since you ascended to the throne, Lady Asmodeus. Every day's been a lot of fun, so I'm really happy to serve you. Thank you so much for rescuing me. For a demon queen, you're incredibly kind. Oh, I know Lizette is trying to be nice to me, but that only makes her words all the more painful. Where does she get off anyway? Calling me kind? I'm not supposed to be kind. I'm supposed to be a demon queen. Demon queens are known for making humans tremble in fear. Not for making them smile. This isn't what I wanted when I took control of the palace, damn it. Hey. Could you stop smiling at me like that? We shouldn't be chatting like we're the best of friends, and you absolutely shouldn't think that I'm kind. You should be scared of me. No, terrified. Whenever you gaze upon my frightful visage, you should remember all the ills which I have inflicted upon you, and you should tremble from your tip to your toe. That is what I want from you. I see. Lizette's frown deepens. I can understand where you're coming from, Lady Asmodeus. Can she really? I'm not too sure about that. But I'm
not going to lie about my feelings, and not even for your sake. Another task failed spectacularly. I'm very sorry if my behavior hasn't matched your expectations, but I can't pretend to be scared of you. I think you'd soon get tired of me cowering before you anyway. It would get old quite quickly. Talking to you like this is a lot more fun. And I'm really not scared of you. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Wolf, remember all the ills I've inflicted upon you. No ills found.
Well, I can see that, but why aren't you scared? What's wrong with me?
I don't think there's anything wrong with you, Lady Asmodeus. You've been very good to me. But I think that's where the problem lies. I just can't bring myself to cower in front of a woman who has not done a thing to hurt me.
I could hurt you, though. I could hurt you very, very easily if I so desired. I have all the demonic powers of pandemonium at my disposal. If I wanted, I could make your life a living hell. It is only through my good graces that your mind has yet to shatter into an array of infinitesimal pieces.
Oh, well, yes. I know that already, Lady Asmodeus, which is why I think that you are very kind.
Kind? No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're being incredibly considerate. I know you have a lot of powers as a fearsome demon queen, but you haven't used any of them against me. I think you're too well-meaning for it.
God, Hibiki, that's so true.
Lizette truly has I don't give a energy mixed with pampering Onei-chan.
Like she's truly not scared of her at all.
You can say you can shatter my mind to pieces, but I don't think you really want that. If that was the case, my mind would be in ruins already. And now, if we've finished with our discussion, would you like to eat your lunch? I made that quiche with a lot of love, and I used all of your favorite ingredients. It has a lot of cheese, and I topped it with chives. You like chives, don't you?
I guess. I pout, and then prod my quiche with the tines of my fork. But it looks like there's mushrooms in my quiche.
Why, yes, there are. I picked them from the garden fresh this morning. But don't worry, Lady Asmodeus, they're not poisonous. They should be perfectly delicious.
I doubt that. You know I don't like mushrooms.
I'm aware of that, yes. But look here. You need to eat some vegetables. Otherwise, your demonic powers will begin to weaken. You don't want that to happen, do you?
Well, no, but
nothing. Rosalba always told me eating a balanced diet is important if one wants to maintain one's strength. And in that case, at least, I think she was right. I know you like sweets and pastries, Lady Asmodeus, but you can't live on sugar alone. It'll make you sick. I won't let my beloved demon queen suffer from an iron deficiency.
What do you mean, beloved? Since when was I...
Oh, think nothing of it. It was just a slip of the tongue.
Right. And do you normally call people your beloveds?
Not normally, no. But you're special to me, Lady Asmodeus. That's why I went out of my way to make you an extra tasty lunch, packed full of nice, healthy mushrooms. They'll help you get big and strong. I don't like mushrooms, though. Yes, well, that's why I brewed you a lovely cup of apple and cinnamon tea to reward you after you eat your mushrooms. And I've made apple pie for pudding. That's one of your favorites, isn't it? I'd be more than happy to serve you a slice, provided, of course, that you eat all of that quiche.
I guess I've got to give this to Lizette, if nothing else. She might be a fool who doesn't know what's best for her, but she drives a hard bargain.
No, I think Lizette knows exactly what she wants.
I'm supposed to be intimidating. Okay, babe, but you need your nutrition.
God damn it.
Mushrooms are one of my least favorite foods, but Lizette's apple pies are to die for. I don't want to miss out on a chance to sample her yummy desserts, so... Oh, all right, fine. I'll eat your stupid mushroom quiche. There. Are you happy now?
Oh, yes, very much so. And make sure you eat all your lunch now. Every last bite. Nothing would make me happier than seeing you finish everything that's on your plate. And I do mean everything. If I see that you've been hiding your mushrooms in any of those fancy faces again, I'll be really cross with you. Do you understand that, Lady Asmodeus?
Yes. I understand. I won't play any underhanded tricks, so you don't need to worry. I'll do my best to eat everything. Miss Lizette?
Good! That's what I like to hear. You're so agreeable, Lady Asmodeus. I think that's very endearing. I'll be sure to bring you an extra large slice of apple pie for your efforts. And now, I need to go back to the kitchens to check up on that pie. I'll see you in a bit.
Lizette drops me a neat curtsy, taking her skirt in both of her hands. But then she all but skips off to the kitchen, humming as she goes. Sean! I will subject you to the unrelenting torment of the damned! Okay, but
you're having your num-nums first. It's beautiful.
I watch as she departs, the hem of her skirt fluttering. Then, I sigh. At least one of us is in a good mood. I, meanwhile, am feeling less than enthused, because I still have this incredibly mushroom-heavy quiche to worry about. Ugh. I stab the tines of my fork into the quiche Lizette made me and glare at it. I've not put the stupid piece of quiche into my mouth yet, but the mere sight of those mushrooms is enough to make me shudder. I really can't stand mushrooms, or any sort of fungus in general. Really, I think they're disgusting. A stupid fungal piece of trash. I mutter this insult to my piece of skewered quiche. Not, of course, that the mushrooms nestled inside it can hear me. Or, at least, I hope they can't. But what do I know? Mushrooms are well known for being tenacious. They literally grow on dead trees. They're horrible parasites, and wherever there's decay, they fester. Why people like ingesting these things is anybody's guess.
I do have to agree. I personally think that mushrooms are at their best if they are, like, sautéed in some capacity, like with really tasty, butter. A thing that is bad for me to consume. It's not a lot of mushrooms for me personally. I totally understand the aversion to mushrooms.
Maybe humans are all masochists, is what I would say, but mushrooms are a common ingredient in a lot of demonic delicacies too. I'd rather go for the blood of a virgin girl over this. Ugh.
You will faint if you see blood, even your own. Don't give me that shit.
I don't get the appeal of mushrooms at all, but... Listen here, you stupid fungal Satan spawn.
I am not afraid of you. Oh my god, she's gonna do battle with the quiche.
Sure, I had no problems eating you when I was a kid, and maybe my mother did scold me for being a picky eater. But I'm a lot older now, and wiser. I even managed to conquer a whole country. If I can get a king ousted from the throne, there's no way in hell I'll cleave before a few freaking mushrooms. Now quiver in fear before me and repent for your crimes. I'm not letting you get the better of me. I open my mouth, trying to suppress a shudder, then slide the piece of quiche inside. I chop down on it, my teeth working furiously. I'm fully expecting to loathe the taste, but... to my surprise, the quiche doesn't taste that bad. In fact, it doesn't taste bad at all. I was expecting the rubbery, wet texture of the mushrooms to overpower everything, but the mushrooms are surprisingly mild. They don't take anything away from the rest of the quiche. In fact, they almost seem to enhance it.
She's learning. She's found a way that she likes mushrooms.
Is this even possible? There's just no way. Lisette doesn't know magic too, does she? I'm busy pondering this, perturbed by how not disgusting the mushrooms in this mushroom quiche are, when a dark portal appears in the throne room. From out of the portal emerges a pair of toned arms, which are attached to a chest, which is attached to a head.
I love how she's narrating as the body is coming out of the portal.
My visitor has sharp horns and a tail, just like myself, and red hair, which is rather unlike myself. I know this girl well, largely because she isn't an ordinary girl. Not in the slightest. No, she's crazy cute. Her name is Severia, and she is a general in my demonic army. She's actually my right-hand woman, whose power is unmatched by all save myself. She has a lot of authority around here. She's incredibly strong.
Hey, Osmo! What's up? I just thought I'd drop by for a visit to see what you've been getting up to on that big old fancy throne of yours. Don't mind me.
But she's also incredibly irreverent. Severia might be my right-hand woman, but I've also known her ever since we were children. As such, she thinks it's fine to talk to me like this, as though we're still little kids. She's the only person who calls me Osmo. It's your ladyship, or your awfulness, or a lady Asmodeus for everybody else. If my other minions tried to be so familiar, I'd smite them for their insolence. I've often thought about smiting Severia too, but I've never made much progress with these wicked plans. She's as dumb as a bag full of rocks, but she's much better at combat than I am. And I must admit, she can be rather amusing at times. I don't always like her company, but I guess I'll just have to lump it. If I can even eat mushrooms, I should be able to put up with anything. Hello, Severia. You seem to be in high spirits today. Did something good happen?
Not particularly. I just wanted to check in on you, I guess. It's been a while since we last spoke.
Well, naturally. I am Mielle's queen now. I have rather a lot of duties to attend to.
Yeah, no kidding. You've become so important, Asmo. You've, really gone up in the world. It seems like you're always busy with a meeting or two these days. Weren't you in another meeting a little while ago, too?
Indeed, I was. Some dignitaries from Locke came to discuss matters of trade. It wasn't particularly exciting.
Locke, huh?
Severia pulls a face.
I've heard there's, a whole load of artisans there. Don't they make the fancy clocks?
That and chocolate.
Oh, chocolate! That sounds way more interesting than clocks. Did they give you any chocolate, Asmo, as a gesture of goodwill? If so, this demon here would like to sample it. It's important to test this kind of thing. After all, for poison. I wouldn't want you getting assassinated.
I know that Severia means well, but the cheerful way she talks about my potential assassination is a bit grim. The dignitaries from Locke did not bring any chocolates with them, no. I'm sorry to tell you this, Severia, but we were having a business conversation, not a picnic. And besides, I don't need any underlings to test my food to see whether it's poisoned. I'm perfectly capable of divining that much for myself. I'm not stupid.
I know. You didn't become the queen of the country because you were adult, no matter what your mother might have said about you.
Severia! Did you really have to mention my mother? She knows that's a sore spot for me.
But it does suck they didn't give you any chocolates. Don't you think that's kinda rude?
Not particularly. I'm not overly fond of sweet foods.
She lied as easily as she breathed.
Or so you
Oh, excuse me, this is Severia. Or so you say, when you're always eating Lizette's fruit tarts.
Severia knows.
Don't think I haven't seen you scarfing them down, Osmo. Your sweet tooth is just as bad as mine.
Oh, I only eat those because it would be rude not to. Lizette does go out of her way to make those treats for me.
So, you eat food you don't really like because you don't want to upset your maid? Who is, I might add, your captive?
Severia snickers.
That's kind of funny. I didn't know you cared so much, Osmo. Everyone loves teasing her. Oh my god.
I don't care. I'm just trying to act civilized, unlike you. As a queen, I have a duty to treat my subjects with respect. Otherwise, they would never serve me.
Well, I don't know about that. I ain't the queen, so can't say one way or the other how things should be done.
No, you can't, which is why it would be best if you didn't pass judgment. Your opinions aren't helpful.
Oh, wow. Touchy much. It feels like you're so on edge lately, Osmo. Are you stressed?
A little. Maybe. It would be strange if I wasn't, given I am the queen of Mielle now.
True. Running a country sounds way harder than conquering one. You have to, keep the people happy, and they're always complaining. I have no idea how you do it.
Getting plenty of sleep and eating nutritious meals help.
I guess so. It's a good thing you've got Lizette to help you. It sounds like things have worked out pretty well for you. Although...
Severia looks at the plate of quiche I'm holding in my right hand, and then she grins.
Those ain't mushrooms in that quiche, are they?
Yes, they are. Why do you ask?
I just thought it was kind of funny. If I know you, Osmo, which I do.
Sometimes I wish she didn't. Then perhaps she might address me with the respect I'm owed.
And then I know you freaking hate mushrooms. You cried that one time, remember, when we went to Nimue's? And her mother made that mushroom casserole. You were acting like you were being tortured or something. It was a real riot.
Humph. I fold my arms across my chest and pout. No, wait, scowl. Yes, I'm not pouting, I'm scowling. As a demon queen, I do not pout. That should go without saying.
She is so adorable, oh god.
I don't remember that incident.
Did you wipe it from your mind then? I wouldn't be surprised. You were crying so much. It looked like you were actually traumatized.
Oh, I cannot say the one way or the other. But I am glad to... you seem to find my supposed trauma amusing. I'm being sarcastic, of course, but Severia doesn't seem to get that. She's quite an earnest, straightforward person, so she doesn't really do sarcasm. It flies right over her head.
Oh, the trauma part wasn't funny, but your reaction sure was. I've never seen anybody so scared of a few mushrooms before. It was a hoot.
Yes, it sounds most hilarious.
It really was. I can't believe you're actually eating mushrooms again, of your own volition after that. I figured you'd, like, throw them up or something. How'd Lizette convince you to give it a shot, huh?
Well, she did not say anything in particular. She did not need to. I simply thought, given I am now a fully grown demon, I ought to face my battles head on. I am much too old to cling to my silly, childish aversion to mushrooms. That is all.
That's all, is it? Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's nice to know you're conquering your fears and all. But really, for a weak, puny human, Lizette sure is good at pushing you around. Looks like she's gotten you wrapped right around her little finger.
Oh, Severia's laughter pierces my skull, and I scowl. I have half a mind to hurl this plate of quiche right at Severia's stupid, smiling face, and I don't think Lizette would like that very much. She's awfully particular about not shattering the crockery. I'm not sure why she cares so much. I can always buy more, but whatever. I don't want to make her mad, and it would seem a shame to waste this quiche. It might contain mushrooms, but it is pretty good. That's why, rather than physical violence, I instead mumble under my breath. Oh, shut up. It's not the most convincing rebuttal, but at the moment, it's the best I can manage. All of this talk about Lizette has left me feeling unsettled. I don't want to concede to Severia, but I am starting to wonder, could she have a point?
Later that day.
Nimue, this is awful. I don't know what I'm going to do. And Nimue blinks at me, her eyes half-lidded.
God, she's so cute too.
She's one of my dearest friends, other than Severia. I've known her for many years, ever since I was a young child, and we were rather close while growing up. I was pretty young when I decided that, should I ever become a fearsome demon queen, I would appoint Nimue as my head priestess. I promised Nimue as much during our childhoods. I even hooked my tail together with hers when I did it, and swore that I would swallow 1,000 needles in penance if I were to ever go back on my word. All demons know that promises made while your tails are linked are unbreakable.
That's cute. Instead of a pinky promise, it's a tail promise.
They're the highest form of vow there is. But I am getting ahead of myself. I was able to become a proper demon queen, even though it took more time than I ever imagined. And Nimue is now my head priestess, just as I said she would be. As my head priestess, Nimue's job is to heal those who come to her with aches and pains. Her magic is rather potent, and she can use it to soothe fevers and knit bones together and even rescue people from the brink of death. There aren't many demons who are well versed with healing magic, given it isn't a particularly flashy profession. Most demons prefer to be on the front lines during battles, smashing in their opponent's skulls. A bit like Severia. Nimue is an oddity among demons. There are few demons I've met who are as caring and compassionate as she is.
What was that, Asmodeus? I apologize, but I wasn't listening to you. Your shrill voice was grating on me, so I... tuned it out. What seems to be the problem?
Or at least Nimue sounds caring and compassionate on paper. In reality, however, she can be pretty cutting, and she has some strange hobbies. She isn't very emotive either, and her perpetual state is one of listlessness. She's actually pretty easy to talk to, though, whenever I have a problem, which isn't all that often, really. Nimue is always the person I find myself turning to. She's a lot better at listening than Severia is. Though that might not be saying much, given the way Severia is. Well. I'm fast approaching my wit's end, Nimue. Haven't you heard about the way Lizette treats me?
You mean the princess?
That's right. It's been 3 months since I conquered the kingdom of Mielle, and 3 months since I drove Limon from this country. Lizette hasn't seen her father in 3 months, and neither has she seen any of her servants. During this time, she's been working as a maid, forced to tend to the most banal of chores. I would have thought that this humiliation would have been enough to break her spirits, but it's all been in vain.
I love how she's crying to her friend about, I'm not an evil demon queen. Everyone loves me and makes fun of me. It's true, Asmodeus really can't go anywhere without getting her ego destroyed.
It's obvious that she doesn't fear me. She doesn't revere me. It's so apparent. Even Severia has commented on it. And you know how she is. She's a complete and utter cretin. And my situation really must be precarious if Severia is teasing me about it. If she is aware of the princess's poor attitude, then the rest of my underlings must be too. If my mother knew I'd been struggling to get a single human girl to respect me, she would never let me hear the end of it. She'd call me a disgrace to my family's bad name, and she already thinks of me as a disgrace as it is. Oh, I might have been able to conquer Mielle successfully, but my victory means nothing if I can't strike fear into the hearts of the humans I'm ruling over. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and... Hey! Hasn't Nimue been kind of quiet during my little tirade? Oh no, Nimue hasn't been listening!
It's okay, we're listening, Asmodeus. We're listening, Asmo. That's so true, Asmodeus does need to have an honest conversation. Most of all with herself.
What gives? You are listening to me, aren't you? I wave my hand in front of her face, hoping this'll jolt her back into the realm of the waking, and...
Oh.
Nimue blinks very slowly. Then, just as slowly, she rubs her eyes with the back of her arm and says,
I didn't catch that. What were you yammering about?
Nimue, no.
It's okay, Asmo, we were listening.
And you know what, Wolf? I think you're right.
Asmodeus is getting all this pressure from her mother. She's not a failure egg. She's doing a great job, even if she is very fun to tease.
Oh, it looks like Nimue was sleeping again. Oh, she falls asleep pretty often, actually. So much so, it's almost impressive. I think falling asleep must be one of her special skills. Well, that alongside sticking people full of pins. Oh God,
God, that's terrifying. Oh, wait, hold on. Does she do acupuncture?
I don't think she fell asleep because I was boring her, though. At least, I hope she didn't fall asleep because I was boring her. The thought is kind of sad. Not that I care what my underlings think of me, of course. I mean, I am the great and powerful Demon Queen Asmodeus, scourge of the weak and terror of the realm, etc., etc. I fill her in on my issues for the second time. Now she's actually among the realm of the living, for the moment, at least. Nimue nods, and then frowns.
I see. That must be difficult, I suppose, but I'm not sure why you're asking me for advice. I do not have any. Experience in making princesses do what they are told. I don't deal with humans very often, especially not living ones. I would far rather cut up their carcasses.
Oh God, please don't do that. Well, I know that. I shudder. Nimue might only be a priestess, not a warrior, but she's still a demon. As such, her pastimes tend to be a little grisly, shall we say. She might look refined, but I think she's even more bloodthirsty than most of the generals in my army.
Yeah, no, she just casually dropped that. At least, mercifully, she's asleep most of the time.
One of her favorite hobbies is experimenting on people, be they friend or foe.
Oh, God!
Now, when we were young children, she once transmuted a fruit fly inside a rat's body just for fun. The poor thing kept trying to fly, which had some rather unfortunate results.
Nimue! Oh my God!
Nimue is kind of scary.
Yeah, no, legit, she's terrifying.
She's still one of my closest companions, though, which is probably why I spend so much time with her. She is kind of soothing, in a way.
Is she everything that you... She is actually terrifying. Asmodeus, you are not terrifying. Nimue is the terrifying one.
But I don't know who else I can talk to about this. I can't exactly share my woes with any of my subjects. They definitely all judge me.
Implying they don't judge you already.
Yes, please stay asleep forever. Thank God that she's asleep more of the time than she's awake.
Oh, was that really necessary?
You could talk to Severia about it, though, at least. She is the one who helped you conquer this country. She might act careless, but she isn't completely stupid. She ought to be able to help you best one measly human princess. I can only help you with more spiritual concerns, unless you want me to give you a massage.
No thank you. I'm good. I know Nimue well enough to know that her massages tend to be quite painful, and they involve rather a lot of needles.
Okay, so acupuncture was correct. Oh God, she's terrifying.
I think talking to Severia about this would be a bad idea.
And what makes you say that?
You've known Severia for just as long as I have. You know what she's like. She thinks it's hilarious that Lizette is so resilient. She's been teasing me about it nonstop. It's been awful.
Oh, yes, I suppose that does sound rather like Severia. She's never been one, to think about others people's, excuse me, I got tongue-tied. It's because I'm asleep all the time. To think about other people's feelings. She is so, thoughtless.
You can say that again. Severia's being obnoxious enough about it as it is. If she knew I was actually upset, I'd never hear the end of it. The teasing would increase. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's being called incompetent.
Huh? Who's calling who incompetent now?
Oh no, she's here. Oh, a cheery, irreverent sort of voice. One that's only too familiar makes me freeze. Nimue, meanwhile, blinks in that slow, sleepy way of hers and says,
Oh, speak of the devil.
Who's a devil? Last time I checked, I was a demon. You're not planning to demote me, are you, Asmo?
Wait, so it's a hierarchy thing, devil then demon. The devil in question, who is actually a demon, stares at me, her teeth sharp and shark-like. This demon is, of course, Severia, the one person I didn't want to run into. After our conversation earlier, if you can call it that, she's the last person I want to talk to. I don't feel like being made fun of any further. Not by my own underlings. Today really has been trying. Satan, please give me strength. I'm not going to demote you, no, but the thought gets more and more tempting with each passing day.
Huh?
Severia pouts and takes a seat on the pew beside me.
Oh, what's wrong, Asmo? Why are you being so pouty today? Oh, wait, don't tell me. I think I know. You're still annoyed, aren't you? Because of the way the princess has been acting?
Oh, jeez, am I that obvious? Severia's memory might not be the best, but her eyes are discerning. She's quite good at seeing through people, me in particular. I guess we've been friends for too long. Matter, I'm very easy to read. I think it's a little bit of both. But I think I'd rather blame her for all of this. It's easier on my ego. Severia, seeing the way my expression darkens, grins.
I knew it. You're still brooding! That's why you came here to talk to Nimue! Were you asking her to bolster your ego?
Oh, not necessarily. I'm not that shameless.
If that is what you wanted, you would. Only be disappointed. I do not stroke egos. I do not have the energy for it. I only tell the truth.
How cold.
There is nothing cold about being honest. More people ought to do it. It would spare us all. A lot of misunderstandings.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between being honest and being brutally honest, you know?
Do I?
Nimue blinks.
I do not see it myself.
Well, I guess you wouldn't. Anyways, I get that you might be feeling down, Asmo, but I don't get why you always turn to Nimue for help when you want to unload. She ain't the most sympathetic person out there.
It says you. And Nimue wasn't the one laughing at me earlier. You were.
Well, yeah, I did laugh a bit.
You laughed more than a bit. You were in hysterics.
Hysterics. Should I fetch the leeches?
No, please, to God, no.
No, you're good there. I have already overcome it, you see?
I see. Why does nobody let me use the leeches on them?
Nimue, we would rather you be asleep most of the time.
I am supposed to be a cleric. Healing people is my job.
That's because your healing methods are a little out there. Why can't you just use magic like all the other mages?
Because that is boring. I would rather use leeches or let blood. Did you know demons have a pressure point at the base of their tails that, when pressed, will give them flatulence?
Oh God, what the hell, Nimue? What kind of experiments did you do there? No, I didn't know that, but how is that gonna heal anybody?
It won't. I just thought it was interesting.
It feels like a threat, Nimue. Threatening people with medicine, yes.
If you ever do feel sick, Severia, come to me. I will stick you full of pins.
And will that make me feel better?
It will make you feel something. I cannot promise that it will help you recover, though.
Then what the heck's the point? It's worthless. Just stick to using magic, you quack cleric. I'm not gonna let you stick pins in me.
Everyone's a critic.
Damn right I am. See, Asmo, this girl is a few screws loose. Oh my God, Magical, you're right. She's low-key like Medic from TF2. Oh God. Now, why'd you always come to her when you're feeling down? I'm surprised she's not tried to turn you into a demonic pincushion yet. I talk to Nimue because she listens to me. Unlike you. At least she does when she isn't fast asleep. You could try it yourself sometime. It might make me more inclined to share my troubles with you. Huh? So you admit you are troubled. What? Well... And this is about the whole princess thing, isn't it? Are you upset that she's not acting like a captive should and quaking in her boots whenever you pass by? I do not necessarily need her to quake. That might interfere with her cleaning duties. I appreciate all she does to keep the palace tidy, and her food is rather tasty. Excepting, of course, when she puts mushrooms in everything. I'd wonder if she does that to spite me. But I do wish she would afford me a bit more, respect. As it stands, she treats me much like you do. Yeah, I did get that impression. For a human, she sure has guts. I kinda like that about her, actually. But I guess it must get pretty wearying for you, Asmo. It is, just a bit. It makes me wonder whether I do not make for a very good demon queen after all. Aww, you poor thing. Must be hard having a servant who's so bad at being a servant. Since she's your first ever prisoner, I get you might start worrying you're no good at this whole subjugation of the foolish masses business. But never fear, I, Severia, your very charismatic, very outgoing, and incredibly good-looking second-in-command, have an idea. I mean, all those things are correct. An idea? I look at Severia flatly, my brow furrowed. I've known Severia for long enough to know that her ideas are never anything to write home about. She's fairly good when it comes to drafting military tactics and maneuvers, but when it comes to emotions, forget about it. She's about as sensitive as a lump of pig iron. Still, I might as well let her finish. All right, what is your idea? Well, I'm glad you asked. The princess is pure and innocent, right? I suppose so. And she genuinely likes helping people, doesn't she? She does indeed. It's a huge problem. I wish she didn't get such an obvious apparent kick out of aiding literal demons. It makes it rather hard to intimidate her. Well, I figured. I've seen the way she acts around you, and she really doesn't give you the respect you deserve. But think about it this way. That princess obviously has a screw or two loose, 'cause she just loves to serve. Did you ever think that? For a selfless person like that, being a maid isn't an awful punishment, but an incredible reward. I hadn't thought of it that way. Severia was quite right, but
She might have a point. Perhaps the so-called punishment I meant to inflict upon Lisette, tearing her pride to shreds and stamping on her princessy ego in the process, wasn't actually a punishment after all. I mean, she hasn't been acting like she feels particularly hard done by. You'd think, based on her cheery attitude, that I have, instead, granted her a great privilege. I see what you mean, but how do you suggest that I rectify this? What other way is there for me to make her uncomfortable beyond making her my servant?
Well, now here's the thing. This might sound crazy.
Duly noted. I'll brace myself for the worst.
But listen here. I've been thinking, since the princess is such a goody-goody, maybe the best way to really get under her skin would be to act nice to her instead, if you get my drift.
But I don't want to be nice to her, and that would rather defeat the purpose. I want her to fear me.
And I'm sure she will, in time. I mean, depends on how nice you're gonna be.
I'm not following. Can you explain yourself clearly, please, in a way I can understand?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Severia is really playing some 5D chess here. Finding the most entertaining way for the princess and demon queen to interact. Yeah, 1000 IQ move, turn the tables. Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about something like this in the chapel. But since we're all demons here, I guess it should be fine. I know you get kind of squeamish about this kind of thing, Asmo, but I think it's a pretty good idea. Now, what do you think about trying to seduce the princess? I think that would really make her squirm.
Seducing the princess, huh? I think I can see some merit in that idea.
I think Severia's just trying to make the obvious happen.
I'm trying to be like, hey, clearly, this is something you might be interested in, a romantic relationship with this lady, but I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. Such behavior would certainly be unexpected coming from me, and, wait. The full impact of Severia's suggestion hits me, and I gasp.
Illyria was literally about to joke about that as a possible direction, and then Severia just outright proposed it. Yeah, no, they have an agenda. I think they see what's really going on.
Hey, what in the world are you suggesting, you blockhead? Surely you can't be serious.
Well, of course I'm serious. All's fair, as they say, when it comes to love and war. If you want the princess to fear you, then you've got to take control. Tell her she belongs to you, body and soul. And then, of course, you've got to ravish her. Oh my god, Severia! That should show her who's boss, if nothing else.
She just wants to see the demon queen awkwardly come on to her.
Have her just blushing like crazy.
Oh, jeez. I think you're having a bit too much fun coming up with these zany schemes. Can't you try and tone things down a bit?
Isaac!
If they get together, then there's going to be less whining from the new demon queen. Severia's just making her life easier. Oh no, is this Severia's fanfic? Oh no!
Sorry, Asmo, but no can do. We're both demons, me and Nimue, so of course we get excited about doing wicked deeds, like hooking people up together. You're the weird one here for not getting excited.
Huh. I don't think I'm weird for not taking great pleasure in the concept of ravishing my own prisoner. Fraternizing with a servant in such a way is beneath me, for one thing. And for another, this all sounds incredibly immoral. It's so skeezy.
Well, duh. Ain't that the point?
Is it the point?
It should be. I mean, we're all demons.
Wake up, Asmo. You didn't conquer Mielle by waltzing into the palace and handing everyone flower garlands, did you? It's romance time. You can only get so far with this love thy neighbor nonsense.
We're demons, so it's only natural we would act in demonic ways. That is simply in our blood.
You know, Nimue, I don't want to hear that from you. Even the other demons think that you're crazy. Actually, that's not in your nature. That's just you. What she said. You've done plenty of wicked things already, Asmo, by conquering this country. Compared to that, conquering Lizette's body should be a piece of cake.
Holy shit, Severia, this is her fanfic.
Oh my god.
I'm sure it would be, but that doesn't mean I want to do it.
Well, it is true. You don't have any experience.
Oh, good point. I forgot our Asmo was woefully uneducated when it comes to the way of the flesh. Cuckoo. You're so pure, Asmo.
For a demon queen, you're very innocent.
That's why we love you so much, though. You're very cute. Oh, she let the real thought slip.
Oh, stop calling me cute.
Yeah, no, they just want to see her fumble. They want to see her actually have romance. You are cute, though.
You're very inexperienced, but it's all right. We all have to begin somewhere. Don't feel sad.
Stop patting me on the head, too. Oh, I'm not a stray cat. I slap Nimue's hand away, then glower at her. I'm trying to keep my calm, but I can feel a vein throbbing in my forehead. Why did I ever think talking to these two would be a good idea anyway? Their advice has never once been helpful. Minus the advice that Severia gave me, I guess, when we were planning how best to make Mielle fall. That advice might have been pretty useful. I can't say I think very much about her plans to conquer Lizette, though. Blech. Even if I am the Demon Queen, there are some lows I don't want to stoop to. There should be limits. What do you think about this, Nimue?
Me.
Nimue blinks sleepily, her head inclined to one side. I look at Nimue hopefully, fully expecting her to reject Severia's ridiculous idea outright. Severia's ideas are often ridiculous, so this is nothing new. I was expecting this, more or less, from her. Which is to say, I wasn't expecting much of anything. Nimue, however, is a bit more reasonable. She, unlike Severia, is familiar with common sense as a concept. Except for when it comes to leeches, bloodletting, and sticking people full of needles. Still, we all need a hobby. In most cases, Nimue is easier to deal with than Severia. I'm quietly confident she'll talk some sense into my right-hand woman, but...
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
She's also into the fan fiction. Wolf, Severia really said you need to become a top. Oh, Asmo.
What? For once, Nimue lets me down. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. Everybody has been letting me down lately, myself included. Why should Nimue be any different? Don't tell me you don't see any issues with this.
Not particularly. I am no strategist, but I think this plan might have some merit.
What merit? How could... Oh, geez, this is so embarrassing. It's hard for me to even come out and say it. I need to try and overcome my anxieties, though. It simply isn't seemly for a demon queen to stutter. How can seducing the princess possibly help me best her?
I thought that ought to be obvious. The princess has a strong spirit. It is clear she does not fear you. So instead of trying to conquer her mentally, you must first make her fall in love with you.
Amazing reverse psychology. I think it might just work.
Make her yearn for you. Then you can cruelly abandon her, and she will be heartbroken.
Oh my god, Nimue! I mean, to be fair, she is the most terrifying one here. I feel like Nimue is full on this part of the plan, and Severia's like, nah, they'll give up before the breakup part. Nimue scares me.
In that way, you will have triumphed, and you will finally conquer her for good, heart and soul.
Conquer her? Huh? I shudder. That's kind of sadistic, isn't it?
Yes, well, I am a demon, and so are you, in case you had forgotten.
No, that's just you, Nimue.
Now, observe.
Nimue gets to her feet and grabs hold of Severia. She pulls her upwards, using a degree of strength she never normally displays. And then Nimue slams Severia against the wall!
Oh my god, it's a Kabedon. Even Severia's surprised.
Oh! Severia squeaks cutely, her eyes wide with shock.
Whoa. What are you doing, Nimue?
I am setting an example. Asmodeus has very little practical experience, so I must demonstrate for her. This is the only way she will learn.
Well, true. She is kind of slow.
Hey! I know I'm not the smartest person out there, but I'm not a complete idiot.
Kabedon demonstration. That's beautiful.
Do not complain. You know that Severia has a point. Now, if you want to bend the princess to your will, you must show her who is in charge. Then she might understand how very weak and feeble she is, and how very great and admirable you are.
Oh, yes, when it comes to high-level flirtation techniques, pushing someone against the wall is a must. It's a real winner. It's sure to make any girl feel, weak at the knees.
Says who?
Says all the romance comics I've read. Duh. Oh my god, all of them are new to this, too.
You read that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I might be a fierce warrior, but I'm still a maiden at heart.
I thought you were a demon at heart.
Oh, I could be a wicked demon and a fair maiden. They're not mutually exclusive. I know I'm a powerful warrior and all, but, Nimue? You're kind of cool when you act like this. You're making my heart flutter here.
Of course I am. There is nobody better at flirting than I in all of Mielle. Ooh-foo-foo-foo-foo.
Aha. Severia might think that Nimue is cool for taking the initiative like this, but I'm not so sure. I'm having some serious doubts, not just about my plans to overwhelm Lizette, but about my friendships in general. Jeez, why did things have to turn out like this? Nimue is quite a skilled priestess, and Severia is a skilled warrior, but when it comes to interpersonal affairs, they're both hopeless. I can rely on them in combat, but for the most part, the everyday advice they give me is questionable, to say the least.
What, you didn't like the demonstration? I thought it was pretty good.
I cannot say I think Severia's idea is very good myself, but if I discard it offhand, without even attempting it, I'll look weak. I know Severia, and I know she'll tease me if I back down. I don't want either of my subjects to lose faith in me. I am the great Demon Queen Asmodeus, and I will not let anybody mock me. I need to do my best, so... All right, perhaps there is some merit to your scheming, after all, Severia. If you think that seducing the princess will make it easier to subjugate her, then that is exactly what I will do. It should be a trivial matter. I can do this. Of course, I can do this.
Oh, have you finally seen the merit in my plan, Asmo?
Does this mean you're willing to come over to the dark side?
I mean, there's a lot of sapphics over here, so yeah. Chaotic, dysfunctional sapphics.
I was already part of the so-called dark side, silly. I'm a demon. No, I'm not just any old demon. I am the Demon Queen, and I rule over a whole legion of warriors. I am the undisputed queen of this castle. It belongs to me. So does the princess. She has no right to live here under my thumb without fearing me.
Hear, hear.
She might not fear me now because she's too stupid to understand how truly powerful I am, but she will. I will make sure of that. If she can't bow and scrape of her own volition, I'll make her do it by force. Romantic force.
Illyria, you're so right. Definitely have to go through with the plan just to make sure people don't think less of her. Yep, no other reasons whatsoever.
I'll bend her to my will, slowly but surely. And in time, I'll completely break her down. I'll seduce her heart and soul, and then she'll be mine. And there's no way she'll be able to resist my charms.
Charms? What charms? I wasn't aware you had any.
Shh, Nimoy. Let her have her fun. We're supposed to support her, remember?
Severia's like, shh, don't tip her off. Oh my god, they are scheming.
I know, but I thought you were just joking. You should know that this plan will never actually
work, but of course it will. I've faced trials far greater than this one, and I've always emerged the victor. This shall be no different. I swear to all of you assembled here.
All three of us, you mean?
Yes, all three of us. I swear it, before the both of you, that I will make good upon my promise. In no time at all, I will have that princess bowing down before me. I will force her to respect me, and then we'll see whether she can keep that stupid smile on her face.
Well, all right. You can believe what you want, but don't come crying to me when things don't work out quite the way you're hoping. Real life is never that easy. Especially not when Asmodeus is involved.
I maintain my high spirits when I exit the chapel, and as I attend my demon queenly tasks throughout the rest of the day, including taking a hydration check, because it's been 2 hours already.
Damn, I've been doing that voice for a while, and we're still cruising. Let's go. All right, we're gonna have a quick drink, and then we'll hop into the rest of this. Ooh, I was thirsty on that one. My God. Ooh. Alrighty, let's do this, y'all.
This mental image I've conjured up of Princess Lizette quivering before me in awe of my sultry seduction skills. It's quite a pleasant one. It's fun to bask in my fantasy, but how the heck am I supposed to seduce the princess anyway? The day is come and gone, and the sun is sunk beneath the horizon. I've returned to my luxurious bedchamber, which was once the king's bedchamber, and now I'm standing in front of my vast, ornately carved wooden wardrobe, which was once... well, you get the idea. And most of this room's furnishings, the carpets, the canopied bed, and the larger pieces of furniture, they were all the they were all the previous kings, not the Demon King. Oh my god, the cookies sound wonderful. Cookies for everyone. Courtesy of Magical and Lizette. That's so beautiful. I've replaced a few bits and pieces here and there to suit my own aesthetics, and I made sure to litter the bed with all my favorite plush toys. I'm quite fond of them, especially Renove, my giant rabbit. He's a dear companion of mine, who I've known for as long as Severia and Nimue. And unlike Severia and Nimue, he never teases me. It's enough to make me wonder why I don't spend the rest of my life with my stuffed animals.
Pretty reasonable, honestly.
But Beelzebub already teases me about being childish. I don't want to give her even more reasons to be a jerk. Ahem. In any case, it's fast approaching the time where I ought to sleep. I know I should change into one of my nightgowns, but I don't think they'll help me with my new plan. If anything, I think it would only hinder them. If I seriously want to seduce Lizette, wouldn't it be better if I chose an outfit that's a little more daring? My old nightgowns are far too cutesy to get the job done, and it doesn't help that I tend to let my hair down before bed either. I've heard Severia tell me that. If it wasn't for my horns and my tail, I'd look like a regular human when I'm about to turn in for bed. Your typical fair maiden carrying a basket full of goodies for her grandmother.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
If only I wasn't so short. I wish I was more imposing. Just like my mother. Why did I have to be cursed with such an inconvenient body? I thumbed through my many articles of clothing, searching for something which might inspire fear and awe in Lizette both. And yet, there's nothing in here. Why don't I own anything more demonic? I sort through nightgown after nightgown, but none of them exactly scream seductress. They're all more of the same, plain gowns with little in the way of embellishment. Some of these gowns have full sleeves, others have no sleeves at all, but none of them are suitable for my dark, nefarious purposes of romance. Should I order more clothes from Damnazon? Damnazon! This country's finances are already in a precarious state, thanks to old Lamone's bad habits, though.
It was taxes all along! Oh my god, this whole time. It did come back to taxes.
He was an incorrigible spendthrift, as soon as I discovered when I toured the treasury, and the resources available to me are few and far between. I don't know if I can really justify spending money on stupid, sexy nightgowns, of all things. Damnazon is convenient, but its shipping fees beyond the demon realm are eye-wateringly expensive. Apparently there's an extra service charge on any delivery location in an alternate plane of reality. Damn. I get traveling between the demon realm and the human realm is a pain, but come on! I'm the Demon Queen! I could at least get a discount. I don't want to pay 66.6% extra on every order.
God damn it.
I'm busy pondering my poor luck and my paltry wardrobe, which is miserably devoid of anything sensual, when...
Excuse me, Lady Asmodeus.
I hear a lilting voice outside my bedroom door, accompanied with the jaunty rapping of knuckles.
Are you decent?
Of course, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who my not-so-mysterious guest might be. I sigh, then shut my wardrobe. It's not like a suitable gown will just materialize out of nowhere with a defeated thud. And then I turn my attention to the door and say, you really ought to know at this point that I am never decent. I am a demon, after all. It's our duty.
To be indecent, yes. Yes, I know. I understand all of that, your wretchedness. But what I mean is, are you dressed? I don't want to barge in on you while you're naked.
I fail to see why it matters when you've been bathing me every single night. But yes, I am as decent as a great and powerful demon can be. Oh my god, they're already bathing together. No wonder Severia's like, just hook up already. You know, it's true. It's true. You gotta hand it to Asmodeus. She is fiscally responsible. That is very true. I know it. There's somehow not an item already. You can come in if you want. You might as well. It's not like I have anything to hide. Other than my current cunning plan to seduce her, I guess. Which feels a lot less cunning now than it did back in the chapel when I was hashing out the details with Severia.
Thank you very much, Lady Asmodeus. You're too good to me.
Yeah. I sigh as Lizette enters my chamber, all smiles. You always act like I'm doing you some great favor, making you serve me, but I'm not, I promise you. You're supposed to feel ashamed about all of this.
Oh, my lady, you always say that, but what is there for me to be ashamed of, I ask you? I was much, much more ashamed when I lived as a princess, and I had servants who waited on me hand and foot. I like being useful to people. Speaking of which, I've come here to help you get ready for bed, my lady, like I always do.
Well, I figured as much. I knew Lizette would be paying me a visit soon, which is why I wanted to change into something suitable for seduction before she came rapping on my chamber door. I'd hoped to catch her unawares, but I can now see that my hopes were in vain. What a pain.
And now, I'll start by drawing you a nice warm bath to soothe your aches and pains, but I should probably light the fire first. It's awfully dark in here. Why have you been standing about with all the lights off? Doesn't it hurt your eyes?
Not really. I'm a demon, you know. We're accustomed to the dark.
Well, of course you are. You demons are all very impressive. But I'm afraid I'm a clumsy, useless human. I'll be hopeless without a bit of light, so I need to brighten this place up a little. Please leave everything to me. Once I've finished tending to you, all of your worries will melt away like spun sugar.
Lizette sets to work, as industrious as any worker bee.
Oh, nice mood lighting.
Lizette lights the wood in the fireplace, which chases away the worst of the shadows, and turns on the lights. And then she enters the ensuite bathroom and draws up a bath. While the warm water's running, drumming rhythmically against the bottom of the white, smooth tub, she returns to my bedroom and says,
And have you decided what you wish to change into, my lady, once you've finished in the tub?
Well, I wanted to pick out something sultry, but that plan fell through. I can't imagine any of my current pieces being any good at winning over Lizette's heart, but I wonder. Might be cheating to ask her for her opinion, but hey, demons aren't exactly known for being scrupulous. Wait, are you just gonna ask her what kind of... what kinds of things she prefers? Yeah, no, she's definitely not gonna catch on at that. Actually, there is something I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, what is it, my lady?
Well, this might sound a bit strange, but I just wanted to know, what would you wear if you wanted to, seduce somebody?
Seduce? Huh.
Lizette blinks. There's a pause, and then,
well, I don't have much experience with that. If you were hoping I'd have any advice to give you, you're out of luck, I'm afraid.
But weren't you complaining about having to go to all of those balls? Isn't the point of those events to seduce stupid princes to make them want to marry you?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Then you should be a dab hand at it. There shouldn't be anybody more skilled in the art of seduction than you.
Oh my! Is that really how you see me, Lady Asmodeus? I'm very flattered, but you're mistaken there. I was never very good at making princes fall in love with me. And Miss Mercy was always scolding me for my poor manners.
Oh, yes. But what of your attire? I know a princess like you would have no shortage of sumptuous gowns to wear.
Oh, yes, I had no shortage of those, but I never really liked them. I thought they were far too cumbersome. They were so hard to work in. And Rosalba always laced my corsets up so tightly, too.
Yes, you had mentioned. This line of inquiry isn't getting me anywhere. Maybe I should change tack. Well, what do you think I should wear if I wanted to seduce somebody?
Oh my! Is there someone you want to seduce? Lady Asmodeus? The princess of another castle, perhaps? Or maybe a queen?
Does Lizette really think I have time to spare? Go around seducing the monarchs of other countries? I have my hands full just trying to run this one, especially when her father did his best to run it into the ground. Oh, she must think I've been slacking on my queenly duties. That, or maybe she thinks I'm some sort of creep who's trying to net myself a harem of the continent's most attractive young ladies. To be honest, I find it hard enough dealing with Lizette, let alone a whole cohort of other princesses. But it's probably a good thing she's not figured out what my true intentions are. That'll make seducing her even easier, I guess. If I know when I finally get to it. Yes, that's right. I've been looking through my wardrobe, but I can't find any suitable outfits. I was wondering if you might have any recommendations.
Oh my, I never thought I'd see the day where the great Demon Queen, Lady Asmodeus, would ask little old me for advice. I'm feeling a little giddy.
Well, don't. The last thing I need is you fainting. You're supposed to be my maid. It's not my job to carry you.
Oh yes, good point. Now, let me see.
Lizette holds a hand beneath her chin. She examines me pointedly, then says,
I think you're very pretty as it is, Lady Asmodeus. I don't think you'd need to do anything particularly special to seduce somebody.
Pretty? Does she really think that? I'm a demon, so I'm not used to being called pretty, especially not by humans. We're supposed to be terrifying, with our own horns and our own tails. But I guess Lizette doesn't see it that way. She has always been an odd one, so I shouldn't take her opinions to heart, but still.
But I can always look through your wardrobe for you, if you like, to think of something suitable. Would you like that?
If you wouldn't mind.
Of course not. As your maid, serving you is my job. You yourself said much the same not so very long ago. Yeah, I think you're right, Wolf. I'm like 99% sure Lizette is already in love with Asmodeus. Here's the thing, I think the reverse might be true too. Now, do you want to take your bath? I can help you shampoo your hair if you'd like, or I can prepare a suitable outfit for you after you've finished in the tub. What would you prefer?
Oh, I don't mind bathing alone. I mean, I am a big grown-up demon queen. I am quite sure I can handle that much by myself.
Well, all right, you're the boss.
I'm the queen, actually.
Yes, that's right. You're a very impressive, exceedingly awful demon queen, and I'm only too happy to serve you.
I know you are.
I mumble this under my breath as I head off for the bathroom.
That's the most troubling thing. Lizette's acting so enthusiastic about helping me. I can't help but wonder if trying to seduce her is a terrible mistake after all. I soak in the tub for a little while, at Lizette's insistence. I let loose my hair from all its fiddly little braids, and then take the time to soak it in the tub, massaging my scalp liberally with shampoo. I have lots of hair, and washing it always takes a long time. Sometimes taking care of it all even makes my arms cramp up. I guess this is the price one has to pay to look beautiful. I finish rinsing my hair, then lean back in the tub and relax for a bit. The water is nice and warm, and it feels soothing as it laps against my skin. Lizette has a lot of practical skills, and running baths is definitely amongst them. She never runs the water too hot or too cold. It's always just right. I feel so relaxed as I lie in the warm water. I'm at real risk of passing out in the water. But no, I wouldn't do to doze off. Not here. If I fall asleep in the tub stark naked, Lizette would wonder what the problem is. And then she'd come to check up on me. And that would be way too awkward. I might be a demon queen, but I'm still a maiden. I use magic to dry my hair to the best of my abilities, but since I'm still sleepy, I don't do a particularly thorough job of it. Then I, finally, change into my nightgown and head back into my bedchamber.
Oh my god, she's adorable.
Lizette greets me when I enter the room with a cheery,
Welcome back, Lady Asmodeus. I hope you enjoyed your bath. I've been taking a look through your wardrobe while you were bathing, and I think I've come to a conclusion.
About what?
About your desire to seduce somebody, of course.
Oh, yes, that. I should have known.
The thought of trying to seduce Lizette is starting to seem rather wearisome now, but
I suppose I was the one who first brought it up.
If you're serious about seducing somebody, then you should probably dress yourself in this.
Lizette holds up a dress for my inspection. An elegant, classy piece I wasn't aware I even possessed. The dress doesn't look so very different from the clothes I typically attire myself in, at least as far as the color is concerned. It is surprisingly frilly, though. And what's with all these ribbons? Since when did I even own this dress? I don't remember seeing it before. Wait, Lizette didn't sneak it into my wardrobe herself, did she? I didn't realize I possessed a piece like this in my wardrobe. I looked through all my garments, but I didn't come across it. I suppose I must have missed it.
Oh, Lizette smiles somewhat bashfully as she holds the dress to me. I don't think you did miss it, Lady Asmodeus.
Oh, shit!
But when you first saw it, it would have been in a different state to how it is now.
And by that, you mean...
Well, I might have made 1 or 2 additions to a pre-existing garment you already had while you were in the bath. Oh my god, she's so fast! Just maybe.
What? I look at Lizette flatly. Then I frown. You didn't mess around with one of my own dresses, did you?
Well, maybe. But mess around with is an awfully harsh way of phrasing it. I prefer customized. Though you aren't entirely wrong. I did take a needle and thread to this dress.
What? How could you? Of all the insolent things.
But I made sure to sew all the embellishments on neatly. I don't mean to boast, but I'm pretty handy with a needle and thread. Don't you think it looks nice? I made sure to modify it while keeping your tastes in mind. And the hem is still rather long. I only added these ruffles to give it some pop of color. And the big ribbon at the front gives it some girlish whimsy. The original dress was a bit frumpy, but I think this should do a far better job at showcasing your charms, particularly if you mean to wear it to win over a conquest. What do you think, Lady Asmodeus? Did I do a good job?
Well, I look at the dress, then back to Lisette, back to the dress, and over to Lisette. I can't say I'm particularly happy with her taking a pair of sewing scissors to my clothes, but I guess I did ask her to help me.
Illyria. Lisette, next step, practice your seduction on me. I definitely don't mind. Bro, she's got sirens and floodlights pointing at her, screaming marriage material. Yes, it's me. I'm the one you want to seduce.
This new dress isn't really to my tastes, but at least it's not too ostentatious. The ribbons are a bit too cutesy for my liking, but at least she didn't do anything too drastic to it. Perhaps I should consider myself fortunate? This isn't something I would usually wear, but I think it should be workable. For a puny human, you did a good job.
Yay! I'm very glad to hear you say that, Lady Asmodeus. I'll have you change into that dress in a bit so I can see how it looks on you. But first,
Lisette looks me up and down, her expression ponderous.
I think I ought to style your hair. It looks a little flat. Do you mind?
My hair? I finger a lock of it carelessly, my brow furrowed. My hair is rumpled after my bath, and damp, and loose, curling around my cheeks and cascading over my shoulders. Since my hair isn't tied up, I can feel it weighing down on my shoulders and my scalp. Calling my hair long might be something of an understatement at this point. It's so long I can sit on it. Having this much hair is actually rather vexing, particularly given my petite stature.
It's okay, girl. I'm short too.
Now, I've thought about cutting my hair before, but I think that would dull my impact. Having an ornate, elaborate hairstyle is a key part of being a demon queen. It's important to maintaining my image, alongside my fur-lined cloak, And any demon queen worth her salt needs a cloak. And my boots. I mean, those are just straight facts. I don't want to get my hair cut, but it can be a pain to maintain.
Okay, hold on. Has my chat broken? It's not showing the updated stuff from you all. I was having that issue earlier. Nope. There we go. Hold on. Let me try grabbing a different one really quick. Oh, I have to turn this off because otherwise y'all will hear me pulling up the stream. I'll be doubled up. Okay, let me try. Because I've been able to see you all on the side. But this hasn't been showing up here. Guess I'm glad that I've got a side chat. Nope. YouTube. It just doesn't think that that's so stupid. I think I've mentioned this before. Sorry, side note. This is such an annoying thing that YouTube does. The chat that you see on screen, it's called I'll get the music back. It's called the top chat. And it decides which things meet the criteria for top chat. So sometimes stuff will come through and it won't show up on screen, but it does show up for me. I have a separate feed of the live chat, so I can see everything that comes through. Oh, now it's working. Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much for testing. I know, yeah, there is, so if you've ever wondered, like, when you've typed something in chat and I've responded to it, but it hasn't shown up above my head, that's why. It's me looking over to the side and seeing the chat there and being like, oh, someone wrote something. Oh, God. Oh, Isaac, my chat broke too. It keeps switching to top chat. Could only see my own messages. Oh, my God. They changed a whole bunch of stuff this week. I was in my YouTube studio going and trying to timestamp because I'm so far behind. Oh, my God. But it had, like, changed the way that everything looked. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was trying to find everything and it wasn't working. It's so weird. It's so weird. So anyway, that's the secret of YouTube's weirdness, that, like, sometimes chat messages that you all send that are perfectly fine, YouTube will just decide that, like, they don't make it into the top chat. So that's why I have a live chat. Whenever I look over here, I'm looking over at you folks just to see what the live chat is actually saying. Also, Illyria, as someone who once grew my hair out to a mere shoulder length, I completely agree on it being a pain to maintain. Can't even fathom having longer hair. Yeah, especially when there's, like, a lot of it and it's a pain and it takes forever to dry, even when you have a hair dryer and you just have the hair dryer running and running and running and the hair is still wet and you're like, how long is this going to take? And even when you go to a salon, the salon lady who's cutting your hair is like, wow, you have a lot of hair, Yumi. And I'm like, I know, it's madness, absolute madness, but I can't let it air dry because it'll take 5 hours to air dry. And if I do that, there's a stupid part of my hair, like, you know, this is much more apparent when you have short hair. But, like, I call them swirlies. It's like the bit of your hair, like, some people will get, like, a cowlick is another word for it because they swirl. The swirl of the hair. I think cowlick is actually the better word for it. Cowlicks, which is, I don't know why it's called that. It's like a cow has licked your hair and it's just, like, messed up. It's where your hair will grow in different directions. Like, it's not all neatly up and down. Sometimes it'll try to curl. There's actually a huge chunk of my hair that is contained in this bun, largely because it will, like, flip out. Like, unless I, like, meticulously use a blow dryer and then, like, comb it inwards and then, like, use hairspray. Sometimes if I really get pissed, I'll use hair gel. Just to make it go a certain way. It's just easier to, like, put it up in some way, put it in a braid, put it in a bun, do something with it. And even then, look, I still have a hair strand that's falling down like this. This is true to life. It's so stupid. I don't know. Long hair is, it is a battle. Oh my God. So anyway, whenever you see people who have long hair, it is truly a battle. And I completely empathize with just deciding to chop it all off. I have also had very, very short hair before. And honestly, it's something that, I don't know. I don't know that my snake form would be able to sport it, but it does seem wonderful. Just not having to deal with all of this. You know, that's true, Hibiki, but long hair means that you can use a hair attack by flicking your head. That's actually very dangerous. Okay, not actually, but actually. There have been many times in the long years, of me having very long hair where you do accidentally smack people with it and you're just like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Mostly my husband. There have been times where it'll just like I can feel him moving the hair, just like so it's not like suffocating him. If we're like laying down for the night, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. But anyway. Fantastic side tangent. I do indeed. This is my office that is here behind me. I'm glad that you all have been enjoying this stream so much. I love red and pink a lot. And popcorn. A lot of popcorn. Oh, God. But you know what? That is so true. There's no way that I would intentionally smack people in the face with my hair. No way whatsoever. So anyway, onward we go.
And luckily for me, I don't need to maintain it. Not on my own. Lizette has been brushing my hair for me every night ever since she became my maid, but she's never offered to style it before. The thought is kind of intimate, actually. Ugh.
Lady Asmodeus, do you not want me touching your hair?
Oh, no. I have no qualms about that. Of course, it's not as though I'm embarrassed about that. It's more, I have quite a lot of hair. Are you sure you don't mind? Or rather, do you think you're capable of styling it? It is quite the complex task. I fear a puny human such as yourself might find yourself quite overcome.
That is true. Certainly. You do have an awful lot of hair. So much so, it's a wonder you're able to manage it. It's quite impressive that your hair is so smooth and silky, Lady Asmodeus.
Oh my God, the seduction's already begun.
I can't see any split ends at all.
What? With hair that long? That's crazy. Actual magic is what that is. By the way, split ends, if you've ever heard about that before, it is a thing that is more obnoxious the longer your hair is. The shorter your hair is, you're really not gonna notice it that much. But longer hair, it becomes really noticeable because it actually makes your hair like kind of frizzy. Like split end is essentially your hair has been damaged in some way. It's literally the end of the hair is splitting. And sometimes if it's like broken off, like if you've put your hair in like for me, it happened a lot when I would do ponytails. God, whew, I don't know, man. Weighing the benefit and detriment of putting your hair in a ponytail where you're like, on one hand, it will be nice to have it up and off of my neck. On the other hand, it will just break a bunch of my hair. It will be painful. It will pull on my scalp. Like, it's actually a common thing for folks who have like high ponytails. A lot of people get headaches from that because like it hurts. Like if you're constantly pulling on your scalp like that. So yeah, a lot of folks end up going with like low ponytails or braids or something like that. So anyway, there you go. Not everyone who has a high ponytail is going to get a headache, but I used to get headaches quite a bit by doing that. That's why I've got the low bun. And the high bun would pull on my scalp too much that would be uncomfortable. Oh my God, Isaac, that's actually so true. Split ends in winter with all the static is super noticeable. You know what? That's so true. Oh, that's amazing. Generally, when you go to like folks who are like good at cutting hair, a barber shop or a salon or whatever, that's something that they're really conscientious about when they're cutting your hair is they don't want to give you a bunch of split ends. So they try to be really careful with how they're cutting and stuff. So yeah, that's super cool. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Oh my God, actually that's true. Sorkshade, Lizette didn't, oh, excuse me, not Lizette. Asmodeus left up the picture of the king on the wall. Damn.
Well, naturally, if I could not look after my hair, it would not speak well of my abilities to look after a whole country and all of the people who dwell within it. Do not underestimate me. I'm not one to back down from a challenge.
I know. I can see that. And that's one of the reasons why I like you so much, Lady Asmodeus. I've not met any other demon queens before, but you really are the coolest. You're incredibly hardworking, both when it comes to managing your appearance and managing the country, which makes me want to spoil you. Brushing your hair is a great privilege already, but styling it really would be a dream come true. I might be unworthy of such a task, but I would still like to try it. Provided that you would not mind letting an unworthy human such as myself handle your exalted tresses.
I think Lizette might be laying it on a little thick there. But that's Lizette all over. She praises me so extensively, I can't help but wonder how serious she's being. Sometimes it feels a bit like she's mocking me beneath all of those honeyed words of hers, but maybe I'm imagining it. This must be the result of having spent so much time with my mother. I have yet to meet anybody as talented at spinning devastating insults wrapped in sickly sweet sophisms like her.
Oh, God.
Oh, very well. I suppose I can bestow upon you the honor of styling my luxurious hair, but it will only be the once.
God, Asmodeus has got a lot of trust issues with people. It's nice, actually, that Lizette is helping to overcome that.
I shan't be making a habit out of this. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I understand perfectly. Thank you very much, Lady Asmodeus, for entrusting such a precious task to me. I only hope that I can do you proud.
I hope so too, not just for my sake, but for yours. If you displease me, I will make you pay.
Oh no, Lizette won't get any treats. Oh my, how scary. I'll just have to focus extra hard then. Now, where did I last put your hairbrush?
Now, Lizette begins to search my bedchamber for the elusive hairbrush while I take a seat upon the edge of my bed. Eventually, Lizette is able to find the elusive object she's looking for with a determined, aha! And then, brush in hand, she returns to my side. She settles herself down on the bed beside me, the mattress depressing beneath her weight, and introduces the brush to my hair.
Oh! Just let me know if I'm doing anything wrong, all right? If I tug too hard at any knots, please feel free to scold me or insult me. Or goodness, you could even spank me. Oh my God, Lizette! It would be well deserved if I were to commit such a monumental blunder. God, everyone around Asmo is just letting their inner thoughts leak out.
Is it just my imagination, or does she sound a little too into that possibility? You don't want me to spank you, do you?
Oh, perish the thought. I wouldn't wish to waste your time, Lady Asmodeus, with disciplining a lowly maid such as myself. I am sure there are so many other vastly more important things you could be doing with your time. I'm not worth it, really. Which is why I am going to do my very best to please you. I can promise you that much, even if I cannot promise that the results will be any good.
That at least I can believe.
Yes, Isaac, that is correct. This is what they call down horrendous. God damn, Lizette.
You might be a human, but you always try to do your best. You always do try your best, excuse me. I suppose it is somewhat admirable, in a sense.
Do you think so? I'm glad you think I'm admirable, Lady Asmodeus. I think you're very impressive, too. Now, let me set to work.
I sit there mutely, cross-legged, on my lush four-poster bed as Lizette works the brush through my hair. She brushes my hair slowly and meticulously, so much so my hair seems to crackle. I feel the bristles of the brush against the nape of my neck, even more intimate than the caress of a lover. Not that I know what a lover's caress might feel like, and I shiver. My shiver must have been fairly pronounced because Lizette takes heed of it. She pauses, the brush stilling in my hair, and then says,
Are you all right, Lady Asmodeus? I didn't pull too hard, did I?
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I am a demon queen, after all. It would take much more than having my hair brushed to unsettle me.
Good point. My apologies for being too conscientious, Lady Asmodeus. I'm rather new to being a maid, so forgive me if I say or do anything to cause discomfort. That's the last thing I want. You ought to know that I live only to serve you.
You made that quite apparent, yes. She makes it too apparent, in fact. I wish she didn't enjoy her subjugation so very much. It makes it rather difficult for me to take any particular pleasure in my victory over her. Now, are you going to resume your brushing? As a maid, taking care of me is your duty. You need to see this task through until the end. Otherwise, I'll, have you, thrown into the dungeons?
Oh, yes, right away, Lady Asmodeus. Just let me know if it hurts, all right? I'll do my best to go more gently.
As if you could do anything to hurt me. Don't forget that I am the Demon Queen. There's nothing you could do to upset me.
Oh, well, that is a relief. Miss Mercy always said I was rather clumsy. Apparently, my etiquette is so shockingly poor for a princess, I upset any number of dignitaries just by opening my mouth.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Lizette is a lot chattier than I imagined a princess would be, and she comes out with some pretty wild stuff. She's definitely not demure.
So, it's nice to know you're immune from any upset. It's funny, actually. When I was a princess, I always had to mind every single word I said. I was supposed to talk to different people with different degrees of politeness based on their jobs. I was told to be firm with the servants, but I had to be sweet and yielding to all of my father's ministers. Miss Mercy told me I was too familiar with the servants, but I was too cold and distant with the people of influence, whose opinions actually mattered. I was always putting my foot in my mouth. Or so Miss Mercy said. She told me I shouldn't chatter so much because it was unappealing. But now I've become your maid. I feel I can be a lot more open about what I'm really thinking. You don't scold me like Miss Mercy did. It's really quite refreshing.
Well, of course, you're a servant yourself now, so you can talk to the other maids however you please. I'm not going to observe you around the clock. Why should I bother when you're just a lowly maid? You're worth less than a speck of dust to me.
And yet, despite being lower than a speck of dust, you still let me speak to you. I'm very blessed.
Indeed, you are. You ought to consider yourself fortunate.
Oh, I do. I'm having a lot of fun serving you every day, Lady Asmodeus. And this is much, much more entertaining than all those stuffy balls my father made me attend.
Well, good. I'm glad you don't miss those balls, 'cause you shan't be attending more of them. Not in a hurry. A princess might look beautiful in a satin gown, dancing gracefully in a glittering ballroom, but a maid would only look foolish. Your place is no longer amongst the upper echelons of society. And in any case, I doubt any princes would come to Mielle now. Not when the land is under my control. They'll all be too scared.
Good. I'm glad. I didn't mind the dancing so much, but I was sick of all the preening and the presenting which went on at those balls. It was exhausting.
More exhausting than looking after me?
Much, much more exhausting than that. Your ego isn't half as delicate as a prince's, and I'd far rather run my fingers through your hair than any man's.
Oh, shit! It is how the turntables. It was Lizette all along who was doing the seduction. Lizette continues her ministrations as she speaks, running the brush through my hair. For a princess who was wholly unaccustomed to physical labor, she's quite good at meticulous activities like this.
All right, I think I'm done.
Lizette eventually announces this, after a good 15 minutes spent brushing, then braiding, then clipping my hair into some manner of a style.
I would ask you to take a look at your new style, but first, you ought to try on that dress I modified. We'll be able to see how you look then.
She raises a good point. Let me take care of this.
Oh my god, she's so adorable.
Oh my god, with the bows and everything, with her horns! I click my fingers, and my nightgown melts away, to be replaced by the gown Lizette fashioned for me.
Oh my god, magic is so convenient.
As a demon queen, being able to alter my outfit on the fly is one of my powers. It's really rather convenient. I mock all these pathetic humans who are incapable of altering their own appearances as I am, having to bother myself with stays and buttons and worse, corsets. Sounds like a nightmare. Humans waste so much time owing to their appearances. It's one of the reasons why they are roundly inferior to demons, such as myself. Their lives are shorter than ours, yet they waste their limited time with affairs such as dressing themselves. Humans are so pathetic, it's enough to make me laugh. Or at least it would, if I didn't feel so self-conscious in this new attire.
Oh my god! Wolf, this is less of a drama of will they get together and more of insecure girls struggles with their feelings, as the other girl does nothing but be down horrendous with no filter. And then added on that the two best friends of the insecure girl are trying to ship her and each other.
I might have been feeling a little more shaken about playing dress up than I'm letting on, actually, because I used a little too much magic. And my whole room is flooded with light. But maybe I did that on purpose? It makes it easier for me to see the details of my new gown, at least, but I had a few suspicions already, but isn't this dress a bit too cute? I'm afraid there's something almost infantilizing about it. I'm starting to feel a bit self-conscious, but Lizette doesn't seem to notice. She's too busy smiling.
No, just because it has bows doesn't mean it looks wonderful.
The bows are a fantastic accent piece.
Oh, yes! That dress really does suit you. And your hair looks lovely, too. I think I did quite a good job with it, especially given your usual style is so complicated. But you don't need to take my word for it. Come here, Lady Asmodeus, and take a look at your reflection. I want to know what you think of my handiwork.
Oh, right. I approach the mirror hesitantly, my reflection stepping forwards to greet me, and... oh. Even I have to admit that Lizette has done a good job. I have a lot of hair, an unpractical amount, or so Severia says, but Lizette took her time with it, and it shows. The style Lizette has fashioned my hair into is rather similar to the style I wear on a day-to-day basis, though it's been decorated with ribbons. I tend to use magic to fix my hair, since it's so much quicker and easier than using my hands. Lizette, however, couldn't resort to such cheap methods. Humans are notoriously mundane, and they can't create simple sparks. Lizette had to brush my hair out by hand, then tie it up using nothing but her own ingenuity. It's impressive, therefore, that she did such a good job. In fact, I think my hair looks even neater thanks to Lizette's primping than it does when I fix it on my own. How is she able to do that? And so quickly, too. It would appear that Lizette isn't just good at baking quiches and tarts and sachertorte. She's a talented hairdresser, too. Is there anything my maid can't do?
I'm beginning to wonder that, too. So, what do you think? I think an intricately braided style suits you the best, Lady Asmodeus, because your hair is so long and so lovely. But I understand, of course, if you're disappointed. I wasn't being very creative. I could try a brand new hairstyle if this isn't up to your expectations. As the Demon Queen, I know you must have very high standards.
Oh, no, I think this looks lovely. It's even better than I anticipated. Thank you very much. It is most appreciated.
She's completely forgotten how she was going to try and seduce her. Welcome in for folks who are just joining. Oh, man. Welcome to the story of the girl failure demon lord. And now she has failed her way to success. Oh, Lady Asmodeus thanked me. I can't believe it. That's very kind of you, but you really don't need to. You should know that I live only to serve you. You wouldn't thank your bed for letting you sleep on it, or a chair for letting you sit on it, would you? Lizette. Lizette, you don't want her to sit on you, do you?
Well, no, but...
Then you don't need to thank me either. I'm simply fulfilling my job. Seeing you look so very beautiful is all the thanks a humble servant like myself needs. I don't think there's anybody in the world who could be able to resist your charms now.
I examine my reflection in the mirror once again, shifting this way and that, so my long dress flutters. I've never really dressed up before, but perhaps Lizette does have a point. I thought this dress might be a little too cutesy, but I rather like the colors. I think it suits me. Maybe letting Lizette dress me up wasn't such a bad idea, after all.
And now you're all ready to spend a night seducing your quarries. You ought to be able to conquer anybody's heart, no matter how icy. In fact, I'm starting to feel jealous. You don't say, Lizette. Oh, man. Oh, it's a long story. And needless to say, the Demon Queen took over this kingdom, has made it better for everyone. And has failed at being a horribly cruel ruler because she is just incredibly nice and incredibly good at her job. And now all of her friends are trying to ship her with the princess turned maid. I want you to creep in through my bedroom window in the dead of night and whisk me away to the demon realm too. And when are you going to drink my blood and make me one of your willing servants? Oh my god, Lizette, freaky.
I think you're getting your night-dwelling denizens mixed up. I'm a demon, not a vampire. We don't drink blood. And anyway, aren't you already my servant? I can't conquer your country again.
Oh yes, that's a good point. You look so lovely. I suppose I got carried away.
You seem to do that rather often, yes. Just try to calm down, all right? I know I'm attractive, but you don't need to keep squealing about it.
Very well. I apologize for squealing too much, Lady Asmodeus. This useless maid will do her best to be more considerate in the future.
Yes, you do that. Now, since I am dressed for the occasion, I suppose I ought to commence my attempted seduction, but... I take a seat on the edge of the bed, my head hanging, and twine my fingers together. My face is starting to turn red again. No,
is she gonna do it from here?
Admitting this is embarrassing, but I don't think I'm audacious enough to sit here pretending to be something I'm not. I can always try, of course. Fake it until you make it is a saying that's popular among us demons too, not just humans. But I don't have much faith in my acting abilities. Apparently, I'm awful at hiding how I feel, and my every single emotion shows up on my face.
Yes, we did notice that, dear.
That's what Nimue tells me, at least, and she is nothing if not honest. And terrifying. I think she might be brutally honest, actually. There is nothing to be gained from trying to deceive Lizette, so I might as well tell her the truth. I don't actually have any experience when it comes to seducing people. I mumbled the last part quietly, under my breath, as though speaking it more softly would make it less true. It doesn't, of course, but it wounds my pride slightly less to whisper it. Badness, this is humiliating.
No way!
And Lizette's reaction isn't helping. I wish she didn't look so surprised.
How can a demon queen like you be inexperienced, Lady Asmodeus? You're beautiful, you're intimidating, and you're incredibly powerful. I thought scores of maidens must have fallen victim to your charms. I mean, I know I would.
Would she now? That's what I was hoping to do. But for all of my demonic charms, Lizette doesn't look in the least bit in awe of me. In fact, she looks almost... pitying. That is very kind of you, but there's a lot I've yet to experience. I might be long-lived compared to a feeble human such as yourself. I have to get my digs in about humanity where I can. Otherwise, my sense of self-worth will never be able to recover. But I am still rather young in the grand scheme of things. I haven't really had the time to gad about seducing fair maidens and willy-nilly. I was much too busy planning the defeat of your country. It took quite a long time, to prepare everything. Crusades are far more important than winning over a few innocent young women.
I think I understand. You've been rushed off your feet lately, haven't you? That's why you've not had a chance to exercise that abundant, overflowing charisma of yours. You've simply been too busy to take full advantage of your skills.
That is the truth, yes, more or less.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Oreo, fantastic question. Asmo is about 100 years old. Her mother is the one who's turning 666. Yeah, no, Lizette is being serious. She is genuinely charmed by her. Well, you're in luck. I happened to go to a lot of balls in the past when I was still Mielle's princess, and I had a lot of guys trying to flirt with me. I managed to learn all sorts of tricks from them, so I think I'm rather well versed in seduction myself. Oh, shit! I know how you're supposed to approach an attractive woman. If you have no qualms with me giving you some advice, that is.
Well, I do have some qualms, if I'm being quite honest, about this whole affair. There is something rather demeaning about having to ask a puny human like Lizette for help. But if I cannot ask her, who else in the castle can I turn to? Nimue and Severia tried to give me some advice earlier, but I don't think it was very useful. Lizette looks much, much more reliable than they did, and I think she's less likely to make fun of me, too. At least she seems to respect me, even if she doesn't fear me. All right then, I can ask you for help, but I won't be making a habit of this.
Of course. I wouldn't expect you to keep turning to me, Lady Asmodeus. I'm just a lowly human, after all, compared to you.
Well, at least she knows her place, yes.
I don't think I'll ever be able to match up to you, your awfulness. And not that I would ever want to. I know that I'm your inferior. That's why I'm so happy, though, that I can help you. I promise I will savor this opportunity. I'll never not be appreciative towards you, Lady Asmodeus, for giving me this chance to be useful to you. And now,
Lizette holds her hand out to me, her palm facing upwards.
Might I trouble you for this dance, my lady?
I can't say I was expecting this. Why does my maid always manage to find ways to fluster me? Do you really want to dance with me?
Well, of course I do. Why would I not? You're a very fine demon queen, after all. You strike quite the imposing figure with those horns of yours, and it doesn't hurt that your face is so nice to look at. I would consider myself very fortunate if I could dance with you, my fair, or rather, the unfair lady.
As you should. Dancing with me is a privilege none before can boast of, but I look down at my feet, some of my bravado beginning to falter. I try to look cool and calm. No, I am cool and calm. It's not like it's an act or anything, but it's hard to keep that up when I'm with Lizette. She has this way of sliding beneath my defenses like nobody else, rendering me not exposed exactly, and certainly not vulnerable, but I don't know, it's too confusing, so I don't want to think about it. I've, never danced with anybody before. What if I'm not very good at it?
What? Not once?
Not ever.
My, this is a surprise. I imagined you would have been to all sorts of extravagant events in your time, parlaying with nobles and dignitaries from all across the realm. But perhaps I was mistaken. Are you more introverted than I'm imagining?
What? No, I'm not a shut-in, if that's what you're thinking. At least I'm not a complete shut-in. Sure, I might have spent a lot of my childhood inside my room, watching the human realm and its goings-on through a magical portal. But it's not like I was lonely or anything. Oh my god, Asmo! I had Nimue and Severia for company, and that was enough. In fact, being friends with Severia was arguably more than enough. She's quite the handful. I've not danced before because I don't see the need for it. I always imagined it a pointless frivolity, one which would not suit me as a demon queen. It's a silly human pastime. I am too far removed from it. I am too important for it. I'm not sure if Lizette will buy my story. Isn't my voice shaking? But...
Oh, right. I see. That makes complete sense. I'm very sorry, Lady Asmodeus, for casting any unseemly aspersions on your good character. It was unfair of me. I would understand very much if you would like to punish me after I spoke so thoughtlessly. But before you reduce me to ashes for my irreverence, would you do me the great honor of giving me your first dance?
Yeah. You're still stuck on the whole dancing thing?
Naturally, if you can learn how to master a few steps, you should be able to sweep any woman off her feet. You already have the looks, and you have charisma in abundance. You just need to know how to utilize it.
You raise a good point, I suppose. It is something of an oversight, I suppose, on my behalf, that I never learnt the basics of ballroom dancing before. But what if I step on your toes?
Then I shall consider myself very fortunate that the great Lady Asmodeus touched my unworthy feet with her own, much more exalted ones. And now, what do you say? May I have your hand, my lady?
Oh my god!
This is incredible.
She girl failed into girl boss. Before this dance, let me have one more quick drink. It's already been over 3 hours. And then we'll hop into the dance.
Perfect. Let's do this.
Oh, geez. Nothing phases you, does it?
And nope, I'm not the sort to get discouraged easily. If I was, I wouldn't be worthy of acting as your maid. You are the best demon queen there is, Lady Asmodeus. So you deserve only the best, most competent servants to wait upon you. It would be a gross insult to your good name if I acted in any other way.
Well, I suppose you have a point there. As my servant, it is your job to tend to my every wish and whim, even those I myself am unaware of. So I think I shall accept your invitation. You, serving wench, teach me how to dance.
God damn it, Asmo. Of course, Lady Asmodeus. I would only be too happy to.
Lizette drops a neat curtsy, then extends her hand to me once more. I examine it fitfully, my face flushed. I still feel a little flustered about this, despite my attempts to act unbothered, but... oh well, I can't back down now. That would be unseemly conduct coming from a demon queen. I don't want Lizette to know that I feel uneasy. And it's not like I'm particularly self-conscious anyway. I'm sure this'll be fine. I mean, just how badly could things go? I inhale, and then... right. I take a step forward. And then take Lizette's outstretched hand with my own. I'll, be gracious enough to let you have this first dance of mine. But do not go too quickly, all right? I'm still a novice, so it might be hard for me to keep up with you. Not that I imagine this dancing nonsense will be too taxing, of course. It'll be nothing a splendid demon queen such as myself cannot handle. I just, need a bit of time to grow accustomed to things.
Of course. Don't fret too much, Lady Asmodeus. I know that embarking on new endeavors can be scary, even for a great demon queen such as yourself, but there really is no reason to be afraid. I will take very good care of you. I promise.
And so, with a smile sweet enough to give me cavities, Lizette begins to guide me about my bedroom.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
As Lizette moves, she keeps track of an inaudible melody for me, beating out the time in that gentle voice of hers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's right. You're doing splendidly, Lady Asmodeus, though you needn't be so very distant. Distant?
Indeed, dancing is supposed to be an intimate act, but it feels like you're trying to pull away from me. You need to let yourself relax, which is easier said, I know, than done. I was quite awkward when I first learned how to dance, too. But the more you do it, the more acclimatized you should become to it. There really is nothing to it. And now, let the tension drain from your shoulders. And don't be afraid to cozy up to me even more. Don't resist me now. That will make things go even more smoothly, see?
Oh shit, she is so good at this. Lizette leans in, bridging what little bit of space remained between us. Her large chest presses up against my own, and then... I can feel Lizette's warmth through her clothes. I can feel her softness, too. And my face, which was already red, turns even redder. Does she really need to get this up close and personal? It all feels a bit shameless. I'm not used to this sort of thing, but...
Easy now, Lady Asmodeus. Take deep breaths, and don't forget to keep moving in time with the music. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Lizette once again begins to keep time with an inaudible song, like a human metronome, while she continues to guide me around the bedroom. I don't know if what we're doing really counts as dancing, not when Lizette is the one taking the lead. I feel less like an active participant in this dance, and more like a prop, which is being led around. But I guess Lizette didn't want to hit me with anything too challenging right out of the gate.
I agree, this is adorable!
She's trying to simplify this dance as much as possible for my sake, and she's the one leading me. She's being quite considerate. I'm not sure if I'll be able to learn how to dance properly if she keeps handling me with kid gloves, but for the present...
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This isn't so bad. I can keep up. Just about.
Oh yes, you're doing an excellent job. You've not stepped on my feet even once. You might just be a natural at this, Lady Asmodeus.
Well, naturally, I am the great Demon Queen Asmodeus. An affair such as this is trivial for me. I can dance with the very best of them. I know not why I thought this might be so complicated. It really is nothing.
Well, of course, this is nothing for you. You are the Demon Queen, after all. This ought to be a walk in the park. In fact, I'm starting to think these steps might be a bit too simple. What do you say we speed things up a bit? I'm sure you'll get the hang of it in no time.
Lizette, wait. I called to my dancing partner, but she's already begun to up the tempo. I have to hurry to keep up with her, and in my haste, I almost trip over my own feet. Whew, that was a close call.
Oops. Are you all right, Lady Asmodeus?
Of course. I'm just fine. You don't need to worry about me, stupid human. Instead, you ought to be showing me these dance steps.
Oh, yes, of course. My apologies, Lady Asmodeus, for being so unprofessional. I will trust that you can take good care of yourself going forth, and I won't keep asking about your welfare. It must be very presumptuous of me, a mere human, to fuss about you when you are a demon queen. I didn't mean to cause any offense.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'm not used to people fussing about me, you see? So, my voice trails off. I can feel my face flushing once again, though I wish it wouldn't. This is becoming quite irritating. Well, never mind. Forget about it. It's not important, so let's just keep this lesson going, shall we? We won't get anywhere if you keep pausing.
Oh, yes, you're quite right. But then again, you always are. You're so smart, Lady Asmodeus. I can never hope to compare to you. And now, let us continue. 1, 2, 3.
Lizette continues to whisk me around my bedroom, her body pressed against mine. All the while, as I contend with these new dance steps, I have to make a concentrated effort not to step on her feet. And I have to make a real effort not to look at Lizette's chest. Lizette's seduction is too powerful. Oh my god. She really is busty. I've never been this close to a human before. Lizette's face is only inches apart from mine. If I wanted to, I could lean in and kiss her. Not that I want to do that, of course.
All right, I think that should be enough. The real seductress was Lizette all along. Oh, God.
When Lizette finally does step away from me, wearing a small smile, I can't help but feel disappointed. Just a little.
Dancing isn't that hard once you've gotten the hang of it. What do you think, Lady Asmodeus? Was that all right?
Well, that was, not quite as difficult as I feared, I suppose.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. You managed yourself rather gracefully, just like a swan. I'm surprised you've not had any practice. I suppose you really are good at everything.
My face was already flushed, but I feel even redder now. Isn't Lizette being a bit too effusive with her compliments? It's nice being praised, I guess, but she's totally overlooking all those times I stepped on her toes. Is she just going to pretend that never happened? Is she trying to spare my ego? She's so nice. It almost feels like she's pitying me.
You've made a lot of progress, but a single dance isn't enough to seduce somebody, and not even with a wonderful demon queen such as yourself. There's even more you can do if you really want to ensure that your quarry falls for you.
More? My heart's pounding so much, I can't imagine doing much more than this. Lizette sounds pretty confident, however. Maybe I should take her word for it? She's proven to be surprisingly knowledgeable about all this. I guess all those glitzy, glamorous balls she attended weren't wholly without merit.
God, the heartbeat getting louder.
What more is there to do, though, after a dance? I can't imagine taking things much further.
Then you're purer than I thought, Lady Asmodeus. I thought a powerful demon such as yourself would easily be able to imagine what might come next. But maybe the courtship rituals of us humans are tawdry enough to be beneath you. If that's the case, then I apologize for making baseless assumptions. I don't mean to put you on the same level as us pathetic, groveling humans, but can I show you another seduction technique? If I might have your permission to manhandle you a little bit? I think this would be incredibly effective.
Oh, shit! Oh, well? I look away from Lizette bashfully. I can't say I much like the thought of being manhandled, but it might be too late for such concerns. I mean, I already let Lizette dance with me. What could she do that's more intimate than that? All right then. I'm a little bit curious, and there's a lot I want to learn, so you can show me what happens next, if you would like. I'm ready.
Excellent. You're so amenable, Lady Asmodeus. You're the best evil demon queen a girl could ever hope to be captured by. But for the present, I'm going to be the one capturing you. And now, observe.
I try to reply, but I don't have the chance. I can't get the words out. Lizette is already upon me, faster than blinking, her palm pressing against the wall, just inches away from my head, her sizable chest flush against my own. Well, that was certainly sudden. Oh my god, the Kabedon has been done on her! I'd look at Lizette shyly, my legs shaking. Every time I inhale, my chest presses up against hers. The tip of her nose, meanwhile, is brushing my own. When Lizette breathes, my skin prickles. Fire and brimstone. This could be bad. My legs won't stop shaking.
And now,
Lizette leans in even closer. If such a thing is possible, her eyes half-lidded and oddly sultry? Is that the expression she's making? I'm not sure. I have so little experience, it's hard to tell.
I have you right where I want you. There'll be no worming away from me like this, Lady Asmodeus. You're all mine. And I must say, you look incredibly cute like this.
I'd like to put some distance between us if I could, but that's not possible. I've been backed against a wall here, quite literally. Lizette is still pinning me, her right palm only a few inches away from my head. Her eyes, meanwhile, are intense.
Dancing with your partner is all well and good if you wish to seduce them, but it's possible to take things a little further. After a successful dance, it's important to wish your partner good night.
A kiss?
Yes, indeed. That should really ensure that your target can't forget you. And being direct is always the best.
Yes, I did think she might say something like this, but I can't say I'm prepared for it. Not at all.
Look at her moving back and forth.
My poor heart is working overtime here. If I'm not careful, it'll beat right out of my chest. You seem awfully well versed in the art of seduction. Did any of your princes at any of your balls ever get this far with you? Nope. Wow, she sure answered that quickly. They didn't?
They didn't, no, and thank goodness for it. I think I'd have broken out into hives if any of them had laid their unworthy fingers on me. I never liked any of those guys, Lady Asmodeus. I think I told you that already. I know some of them wanted to get me alone like this, on the balcony or else in the gardens, but I wasn't having any of it. I've been to enough balls in my time to know when a guy wants to make a move. Even princes, who tend to be more cagey about this than your run-of-the-mill noble. They tried their best to win me over, but I was too cunning for them. I never let myself get in a situation where they could take me off to one side and have me all to themselves.
Badness me, that all sounds very thought out. You're wasted as a princess. It sounds, based on your tactical knowledge, you could very well have become a military commander.
Yeah, no shit. We've already said that she's gonna get a gun. Why, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Though, if Miss Mercy heard that, I think she'd faint. She really, really wanted me to act more like a lady. But in the end, maybe I'm better suited to taking on an active role after all. I mean...
Lizette caresses my cheek. She dips her head, her hair brushing against my bare skin, and then says,
I've never done anything like this before, but it's coming pretty naturally.
Well then, I'm glad I was able to help you learn more about yourself.
Thank you. You're so nice, Lady Asmodeus, which is why I want to help you out.
It's awfully presumptuous of you, to think that a puny mortal like you could ever hope to help me. I am the Demon Queen, after all.
I know you are. You're incredibly impressive. I think you're amazing. It's a wonder you've not struck my head from my shoulders yet for taking so many liberties with you. But since you haven't done that, I guess that you don't mind this all that much after all.
Well, it would be uncouth, I suppose, to use my dark magics to turn you into a pile of ashes. I would not want to get the floor of my chamber dirty, and I would like to, go and seduce my conquest soon. I cannot be wasting my time scraping you off my carpet with a dustpan and a brush. I have a lot of tasks, which are much, much more important I need to manage.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you're letting me go so far. Though I fear I myself am something of a novice when it comes to matters of the heart. At this point, I'm just basing my behavior on things I've read in books. But if my extensive reading serves me well, the next step in any attempted seduction should be this.
Lisette takes my chin between her thumb and forefinger, tilting my head upwards so that my eyes meet hers.
Now, would you mind awfully if I claimed your lips, my fair lady? It is just, you are so beautiful. I've been able to think of little else all night.
Oh, jeez. This is no good at all. It feels like my brain is melting. It isn't working the way it's supposed to. I'm the Demon Queen! I can't let a single human princess paw at me, but I can't bring myself to move. All I can do is stand here, as if compelled by some powerful magnetism beyond my understanding, as Lisette leans in. That's called the... You're also down bad for her. Her lips, meanwhile, are only scant inches away from my own. When she exhales, I can feel her breath on my cheek. My face feels like a furnace. Why is it so hot? I don't know if I can endure much more of this. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the inevitable, invariable moment that Lisette presses her lips against my own. I'm sure that the kiss should happen any moment now. She's so close to me. It can't take more than a second for her to reach the final act of her little seduction ploy. I'm waiting for it, my body quivering with anticipation, but...
Well, that might be taking things a bit too far.
Lisette never does kiss me. Did she ever intend to? I have no idea.
I'm sorry if I was being too pushy, Lady Asmodeus. I don't want to keep imposing on you, a lowly human such as myself. It was very good of you to put up with me for as long as you did, without smiting me on the spot. But I don't want to try my luck any further.
Oh, Lisette, my God! She is the demonic one here, my God. You stole my throne from me. I'll steal your heart as compensation then. Alternate universe, Lisette.
And I don't want to tire you out before you're able to seduce your real conquest. And knowing you, Lady Asmodeus, I'm sure you're after a very pretty, very wealthy, exceedingly well-connected and well-bred young woman from another kingdom. I was once a noble myself, of course. But I've never been particularly ladylike. Miss Mercy always said I ought to mind my manners, and so did Rosalba. I doubt I'm a worthy conquest in your eyes, especially not now, given I've already forfeited my claim to the kingdom's throne. I know I'd never be enough to satisfy you, so I won't try. All I can do instead is kneel before you and bask in your greatness. Wait! Is that why she pulled back? You really are amazing, Lady Asmodeus.
What? Oh, I feel more than a little disoriented after Lizette's attempts to seduce me, and this incessant stream of chatter is doing little to ease the dull ache I can feel in the base of my skull. My head is pounding. But that always seems to happen when I spend time with Lizette. The pounding of my heart, however, is a sensation I am unfamiliar with. I'm not sure what to make of this. I suppose part of me is relieved that Lizette has put some much-needed space between us, but another part of me, I don't know. Do I feel disappointed? I don't suppose it would have felt so very bad to let Lizette take things just a little bit further.
But no! What am I thinking? I'm not supposed to be letting Lizette seduce me. I'm supposed to be the one seducing her. How did things get so warped?
And now, I hope you have a good night, and if I may be so bold, I hope that my advice will serve you well. I doubt, of course, that anything I said could be of any real use, given I am only a foolish human.
She can say that again.
And you are the great Demon Queen, but I did my best regardless. I can only live as I am owing to your mercy and your great benevolence, so my very being resides in your hands. You may do whatever you wish to me, and I shall accept it gladly. That is what a servant is supposed to do.
Now, where does this girl get her ideas about servants from anyway? Isn't she a little too eager to bow to my every wish and whim? She should have offered up at least some token resistance, but she cleaved quicker than blinking. Maybe she really likes to be ordered around? That's possible, I guess. But if that is the case, then why was she the one taking the initiative earlier?
No, she just wants to dote on you specifically.
I don't understand her at all.
And now, good night. I wish you luck in your future endeavors. Not, of course, that you will need it. I'm sure you can do anything that you set your mind to. That is how impressive you are.
But I understand my own feelings even less. Lizette does, at long last, take her leave, turning on her heel, the hem of her maid's dress fluttering. She closes my chamber door behind her with a little too much force, maybe, so the resultant slam splits the air. But that's Lizette all over. She doesn't do things by halves. For a princess, Lizette doesn't have much in the way of decorum. I think I can see why her old tutor, Miss Mercy, despaired in her so. For a princess, she isn't very princess-like. She isn't meek or demure, and neither is she particularly mild-mannered. She's a menace in a maid's dress. And when I'm around her, I find myself driven quite to distraction. Left exhausted by our earlier encounter, I cast a quick spell to change myself back into my nightgown. And my hair loosens itself from Lizette's complicated braids, falling about my shoulders, and the lights in my room dim. Then I let myself collapse onto my bed. My face still feels hot from everything that happened between Lizette and I. Not, I suppose, that much of anything really did transpire between us. She brushed my hair, as one might expect a maid to do. Then she asked me to dance with her. That, I suppose, is more beyond the scope of a maid's typical duties. And so, too, is the way she pressed me against the wall. It was quite the surprise, but was it an unpleasant one?
I'm not sure. I feel like I should take more offense at the way she treated me, but if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't all bad. Part of me might have liked it, even. But I definitely didn't want her to kiss me. I'm not disappointed. I couldn't care less about that kind of thing. That's what I tried to tell myself, at least. But if that really is true, why is my face so flushed? Ugh, this is stupid, but why does it feel like I'm the one who's being seduced?
That's because you are, Asmodeus. Amazing. Oh my god.
And that, wonderful folks, is where we're gonna leave it for today. This has already been almost 4 hours, which is crazy. We will actually have a stream 2 of this. I don't think that we'll have time this week, but we will pick this up next week, and I've got some other fun things to use for that thumbnail. My god, absolutely crazy. Yep, the queen wanting to seduce gets seduced. Yeah, no, even the text was shaking. Amazing, amazing. Also, yeah, for folks who are curious, it's literally the video right before this one. Well, I guess 2 before this one. I have already watched the Genshin special program. There's a video up on the channel. YouTube was messing around with some stuff last week, and I don't know that folks were notified of some streams that went out. So go and check those. If you haven't seen, actually, that's a really good point. There's a couple of shorts and things that I know that some folks haven't seen yet, so feel free to go and check those out. Tofree did an amazing job with those, as always. I had some cool streams last week and some other fun stuff too, which is wonderful. No, thank you all. This was a blast. This has been absolutely hilarious. Holy shit. Well, folks, until I see you all next, we'll have some more Pride streams this week. I've got a very different flavor of game in store for us tomorrow, which will be super fun. And then I have a very adorable game about a gay couple where one of them is very good at cooking, the other one is not. And the one who's bad at cooking wants to throw a birthday celebration for his husband, and that is, that's so relatable to my life. As the one in my relationship who is terrible at cooking. So I'm very excited to share that with y'all. I think that shit is going to be super fun. Folks, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you all for joining me on this very informative lesson on seduction. And until I see you all next time, you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Until then, oh, it's you, me! my God, that's so wonderful. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, that was a couple of days ago. I'd been talking about how much I love melon pon. And you folks had asked about what sort of recipes my husband uses for that. I was finally able to snap a picture of the actual cookbook for that. Let me go pull that up really quick for folks who are interested. I'm so happy that you were able to order that, Isaac. That's wonderful. That's amazing. Hold on. I'm pulling up images. Enhance. Oh, God. No. Don't crash on me, Blue Sky. There we go. Okay, the book is called Mooncakes and Milk Bread. It is by Christina Cho, and it is kind of like the Bible of very tasty breads, especially a lot of really dope, that's kind of all over. A bunch of different takes on cooking bread from all across Asia. It's super cool. So yeah, it's super, super dope. So yeah, anyway, for folks who are interested, that's what it's called. Mooncakes and Milk Bread by Christina Cho. I'm so glad that it's good. That's wonderful. I hope that you have fun baking things. Oh, God, that makes me so hungry. Actually, this entire stream, Bear has been baking a bunch of shit. And it is making me so hungry. I'm gonna go and eat some of that now. I'll see you all soon. Bye!